I woke up only to find out I had transmigrated into a billionaire villain boss. But before I could even enjoy my boundless wealth, the villain system poured a bucket of cold water over my head. Detecting the host's fate, because you always protect your useless, troublemaking son, the protagonist will use you as a stepping stone. You will ultimately die a miserable death under an overpass. Hearing this, I glanced at the hospital bed, where my screaming stupid son was yelling, "My dad is Chin Tien." I immediately gave him 2 hard backhands, leaving everyone in the room completely petrified. You've completely humiliated the Chin family. Angrily slapping my rebellious son changed the plotline. Reward: God-level poison medicine skills. Seeing that such a good thing actually existed, my gaze toward my son grew even more intense. Just a few minutes ago, right after I crossed over and figured out what was going on, the driver in the front seat softly reminded me, "Boss, we've arrived at Shanghai Hospital." I looked up and saw a line of blue floating text above the driver. Li Jun's head. It read, "Loyalty, 90%. Oh, boy, at least I finally have someone I can trust. According to the original plot, this Li Jun guy actually died taking a bullet for him. Outside the car, 4 burly men in black suits stood in a row, looking incredibly intimidating. Passers-by cast side glances and whispered to each other, "That's President Chin of the Chin Group. He looks even more imposing in person than on TV. I heard his son got beaten up and is in the hospital. He must be here to visit him." I kept a straight face and walked toward the VIP inpatient building, surrounded by stares of envy and absolute awe. As soon as I reached the door of the hospital room, I heard a pig slaughtering howl coming from inside. "It hurts like hell. Believe it or not, I'll have my dad fire your entire family. Do you even know who my dad is? He's Chin Tien. This entire city of Chuming has to kiss his ass. If you dare touch a single hair on my head, you can forget about ever living in this city again." Outside the door, my temples were throbbing. It was this idiot again. The absolute jinx of the original book. The little brat who specialized in dragging his own father down. I slammed the door open and marched right in. The moment Chin Shi-jia saw me, his expression changed instantly, his face completely covered in tears and snot. "Dad, you have to avenge me. That country bumpkin broke my leg. I'm gonna chop him to pieces and feed him to the dogs." Looking at his pathetic, useless face, and thinking about how, in the future, I'd lose everything and die a gruesome death all because of him, an intense fury ignited in my chest. Then, under the completely stunned gazes of the doctors and bodyguards, I rushed forward, swung my arm, and delivered a solid, ringing slap right across Chin Shi-jia's face. "Stop howling like a dying pig. You've completely disgraced the Chin family." I spoke coldly, my words shattering against the floor like shards of ice. Chin Shi-jia clutched his cheek, his eyes wide with utter shock. "Dad, you hit me? A piece of trash like you deserves to be hit." I raised my hand and slapped him again with a fierce backhand. "Cry one more time, and I'll break your other leg myself." Ding, you furiously slapped the prodigal son. Successfully deviated from the main storyline. Villain points increased by 300. First time breaking established fate. Rewarding beginner gift pack. God-level poison medicine skills. System notifications popped up one after another. Before I could even react, a massive surge of information flooded straight into my brain. These God-level poison medicine skills were ridiculously overpowered. There were hundreds of lethal poison recipes. All of them were colorless, odorless, and completely untraceable. I casually opened the system panel to take a look, only to find that other than my charm stats, all my other attributes were way below the standard of a normal man. Still, my charm points skyrocketing to 500 seemed perfectly reasonable to me. But why is my luck only at 100 points? Right on cue, the system chimed in. Due to the chosen one's influence, the host's luck will be slowly drained away by him. Luck is invisible and untouchable, but it's the ultimate key to success or failure. System, what exactly can these villain points do? I asked silently in my mind. The host can exchange points for real-world resources in the villain mall, or save up 1,000 points for a lucky draw to get skill upgrades and rare items. My eyes lit up. There really was a mall button on the interface. I clicked it, and right at the top was a cash exchange option. 1 point for 100,000 bucks. There were even company shares available. 1,000 points for a 1% stake in Tencent. Seeing this exchange rate, my heart started racing. That meant slapping my son twice just now was basically the same as picking up over 30 million for free. I absorbed the massive amount of information flooding my brain, then glanced at my idiot son shivering in fear. A cold, ruthless smirk crept onto my face. I casually strolled over and sat on the sofa in the hospital room. "Alright, spill it. What exactly happened?" Chin Shiji looked totally dumbfounded by his dad's sudden calm attitude. "Huh? What? What do you want me to say? What do you think? Tell me everything from the beginning. If you don't give me the full story, how am I supposed to clean up your mess?" I couldn't help but wonder, other rich kids were born with silver spoons too. So why was my kid so incredibly brain dead? After speaking, I shot a glance at Lee Jun. He caught my drift instantly. Within seconds, the doctor was escorted out of the room, and the door clicked shut, seeing that his old man was actually going to back him up. Chin Shiji immediately lit up and started whining non-stop. He embellished the story without holding anything back. 10 minutes later, my face was as dark as thunder. Turns out, this idiot was harassing some girl on the street. When some guy stepped in to stop him, and a massive brawl broke out. Our bodyguards were completely wiped out, and his leg got snapped in the process. A country bumpkin who just came to the city a few days ago managed to beat highly trained bodyguards to a pulp, and effortlessly crippled the eldest son of the Chin family. I didn't even need to think twice about it. That guy is definitely playing the role of the chosen one. Dad, you have to get justice for me. Chin Shiji yelled through gritted teeth. Him breaking my leg is a direct slap to your face. That freak is too strong. Ordinary guys can't take him down. We should hire an assassin. Shut your mouth. I snapped, cutting him off. Since when do you tell me what to do? Hire an assassin? Are you out of your freaking mind? Listening to his ridiculous ideas, my temples throbbed with anger. Only a brainless moron like him would come up with something so stupid. Anyone with half a brain knows that's just feeding free XP to the protagonist. It's the oldest cliché in the book. I took a deep breath, fighting hard to suppress my rage. I'll handle this. You just lie there and focus on healing. And stay out of my way. Thanks, Dad. Chin Shiji flashed a goofy grin. I just waved him off. Keep your head down for a while. If I catch you pulling any stunts behind my back, I'll personally snap your other leg right off. Chin Shiji shrank back, agreeing with a face full of grievance. Old Lee, go get the doctor in charge of this ward. After saying that, I sat on the sofa, waiting quietly. Didn't take long for Lee Jun to return with the attending doctor and 2 nurses. Mr. Chin, you were looking for me? The doctor's voice was trembling, terrified that saying the wrong thing would bring him trouble. I didn't even bat an eyelid, just tossing out a single sentence. Treat him exactly how he needs to be treated. Don't indulge his ridiculous demands. The doctor nodded frantically, cold sweat breaking out on his forehead. He never expected such a rich and powerful father to say something like this. Alright, old Lee, let's go. Hey, wait, Dad, it's her. It's this woman. Seeing his dad about to leave, Chin Shiji suddenly screamed. I turned my head to look, and saw my son pointing at the little nurse next to the doctor. I scanned her from head to toe. The girl was a little over 1.6 meters tall, wearing a crisp white nurse's uniform. She wasn't wearing a mask. She had soft, curved eyebrows, a delicate, pointed little face, and skin as white as fresh milk. With those looks, isn't she the standard female lead template? Your leg was broken because of her? My tone was completely flat, yet it carried a suffocating pressure. Yeah, Dad, even if she turned to ashes, I'd still recognize her. Chin Shiji gritted his teeth in hatred. Tang Shui stood there and let out a soft sigh. She had specifically taken half the day off today to go shopping at the mall, only to get relentlessly harassed by this idle rich kid. If some out-of-town guy hadn't stepped in to break up the fight, she probably wouldn't have been able to get away. But who would have thought that the scumbag whose leg got broken would actually be the son of the man standing in front of her? And what was even crazier was that this man was actually Chin Tian. Since she had already been pointed out, Tang Shui decided not to hide anymore. Ha, what a coincidence, running into each other here. Chin Shiji sneered. My dad is here now. None of you are getting away. Why should I run? You were clearly the one who started it. Tang Shui straightened her back, not backing down one bit. So what if I started it? Who asked him to be so damn nosy? Chin Shiji's face was full of contempt. Tang Shui's face flushed with anger. Then you deserved to get beaten up. Shut up, haven't you embarrassed yourself enough? I shot Chin Shiji a cold glare, keeping my voice incredibly low. Even though I heard from my son that he got beaten up because he failed to pick up a girl, based on my extensive knowledge of all those cliché Dragon King comeback novels, I could guess the real truth with my eyes closed. Thinking of this, I turned to look at Tang Shui, and softened my tone a bit. Young lady, what is your name? I'm Tang Shui. Tang Shui felt a bit nervous under his gaze. As soon as the word slipped out, she regretted it. Why on earth is he asking for my name? Is he planning to take revenge on me? I lowered my eyelids. I muttered the name slowly, raising a hand to pinch the bridge of my nose. Not a bad name, and stop shaking. I'm a reasonable man. As for the mess today, I know exactly what happened. You didn't start this trouble, so I won't put the blame on you. Alright, old Lee, let's go. With that, I clasped my hands behind my back and walked away. Everyone in the hospital room stood there frozen, not daring to breathe. Behind me, Chin Shiji was grinding his teeth in anger, silently cursing his own father for being a coward, for not showing any dominance. Meanwhile, Tang Shui, who had been shaking in her boots just moments ago, stood there completely stunned, the notorious little tyrant everyone whispered about. His dad was actually this reasonable? Could it be a front? Was he planning to settle the score later? It didn't take long for me to reach the front of the inpatient building. I pulled open the rear door of the Rolls-Royce and slid inside. The moment I settled into my seat, I spoke to Lee Jun in the front. Old Lee, leave 2 of our guys to keep a close eye on Shiji. Don't let him lose his mind and cause more trouble. Also, look into that kid who threw the punch, and dig up whatever background you can on Tang Shui's family. Find out everything. Lee Jun paused for a split second, then nodded firmly. Understood, Mr. Chin, I'll get right on it. He pulled out his phone and quickly dialed a couple of numbers. While he was busy with that, an icy, robotic voice suddenly rang out in my head. Rebellious son's tantrum successfully suppressed. Plotline deviation detected. Villain points increased by 100. Female lead Tang Shui's negative impression of the host improved. Minor disruption to the thread of fate. Villain points increased by 300. 10 lost fortune points recovered. What the hell? I get points just for saying a few words? Thinking about this, I pulled up my personal stats panel. Aside from the 10 extra fortune points, everything else was still at a pathetic, weakling level. Hey system, can I boost these stats? The system responded in a flat, emotionless tone. Fortune can only be stolen from the protagonist. Once your stats are double the target's, you can wipe them out entirely. Got it. What about the rest? Like physical strength, or charm? The host can use villain points to purchase items from the store. For self-enhancement, my eyes instantly lit up. I quickly opened the store interface and scrolled through. 1,000-year-old spirit mushroom, 500 points. A vitality pill, 1,000 points. Nothing but top-tier legendary loot. The prices were insane, though. I held back and didn't buy anything just yet. The priority right now was saving up 1,000 points. It made more sense to go for a big prize. Mr. Chin, we're still tracking down the kid who threw the punch. But we've got everything on Tang Shui. Later that evening, inside a private villa at the foot of Mount Li. Lee Jun handed me a folder with both hands. I took the file and quickly skimmed through it. I couldn't help but marvel at how much money gets things done. Tang Shui was just a medical intern, with a simple background, and yet, the job I gave him just this afternoon was fully sorted in just 3 hours. After reading it over, I gave a slight nod. It really is her. Mr. Chen, is there an issue with Tang Shui? Lee Jun asked, looking completely confused. It's nothing. You wouldn't understand even if I told you. I waved him off. Go get some rest. I'll call you if there's any movement tonight. Lee Jun bowed and backed out of the room. Alone in the spacious living room, I slumped back onto the sofa. Muttering under my breath, 307A. So she is one of the female leads, huh? The female leads in these satisfying urban novels, there's never just one. The files show that Tang Shui comes from a long line of traditional doctors. Her grandfather is highly renowned in Chuming City. I can basically conclude that the male lead is going down the Miracle Village doctor route. The classic trope, popping out of some remote mountain village, acknowledging his long-lost relatives or breaking off an engagement, and conveniently rescuing a beauty to take home along the way. No wonder I was given this poisonous medical skill. Turns out I'm supposed to throw down with a medical big shot. Interesting. A smirk crept up the corners of my mouth. Just changing her impression of me earns 300 points. If I actually win her over. Meanwhile, at Starlight Hospital, Tang Shui had just gotten off work. She looked completely drained of energy. Little Lin, hurry up and boil some water. Little Shui will be here any second. Inside the Tang family's traditional Chinese medicine clinic, the old Dr. Tang Deshuen sat upright in his chair. Tang Shui had just parked her car when she heard her grandfather's rarely heard, enthusiastic greeting from inside the house. Why is Grandpa being so polite today? Just who is visiting? Tang Shui slowed her pace and sneaked quietly into the house. The conversation inside reached her ears clearly. Please, don't trouble yourself. I'm in no rush. It was the voice of a young man. His tone was lazy and casual, but somehow a bit familiar. Tang Shui's heart suddenly skipped a beat. 2 people were sitting in the living room. On one side was Tang Deshuen, famous throughout Chuming City. On the other was a casually dressed young man. He was slouched bonelessly in the mahogany chair, his hands resting behind his head. Little Shui is home. Come here quickly. Grandpa wants to introduce a friend to you. This is Lin Feng. Him? Before the old man could even finish his sentence, their eyes had already met. It's actually you? Hey there, girl. We really are fated, aren't we? Tang Shui looked completely stunned. Lin Feng, however, smiled with a cynical, playful smirk. Tang Deshuen looked back and forth between them. He was thoroughly confused. Do you two already know each other? Tang Shui tightly gripped her bag and pulled her grandfather into the corner of the room. Grandpa, why is he here? She hadn't listened to the introduction at all. Her eyes locked fiercely onto that young man sprawling all over the place. The old man was completely baffled. Little Lin is the child of my mentor's old friend. He came down the mountain for some business this time. He's just crashing at our place for a few days. Is there something wrong with that? There are a million things wrong with it. Tang Shui didn't have time to explain in detail. She quickly recounted exactly what had happened that morning. What? Is that really true? Tang Deshuan's beard trembled with anger. This kid actually crippled the young master of the Qin family's legs? That is way too reckless. I saw it with my own eyes. It's definitely real. If you don't believe me, ask him yourself. Tang Shui pointed toward the sofa. The old man looked shakily over at Lin Feng. The guy didn't even bat an eyelid. He spoke in a slow, unhurried tone. No need to ask. I heard everything. She's right. I'm the one who broke Qin Shiji's legs. What do we do now? Tang Deshuan's legs went weak, nearly collapsing on the spot. Xiao Lin, the Qin family is ruthless. I'm afraid I won't be able to protect you. How about you leave Chuming for now? Lay low for a while. Run? Lin Feng let out a light chuckle. Elder Tang, you're worrying too much. He's nothing but a spoiled brat who only knows how to eat, drink, and gamble. No matter how tough the Qin family thinks they are, they can't hurt a single hair on my head. If they actually dare to show up here, I definitely won't drag you down with me. The meaning behind his words couldn't be any clearer. As far as he was concerned, the Qin family wasn't even worth mentioning. His main reason for coming down the mountain this time was to find the fiancé from his childhood arranged marriage. How could he possibly tuck his tail and run over such a trivial little matter? Hearing this, Tang Shui's mind was in total chaos. She had no idea just how powerful Lin Feng really was. She only knew that this whole mess started because of her. If the Qin family managed to follow the trail back to them, they would definitely make an example out of the Tang family first. At exactly 7 o'clock in the evening, I stood in the grand hall of Lishan Villa and couldn't help but let out a long sigh. Being the only one guarding such a massive mansion, honestly felt like I was watching over a graveyard. Just as I was lost in thought, my phone suddenly rang. Boss Qin, Li Jun's voice came through the other end of the line. We found the guy who hurt the young master. Xiao Lu saw him with his own eyes, right inside Tang Deshuan's Chinese medicine clinic. He was chatting and laughing with old man Tang. They seemed pretty close. I see, I replied in a completely flat tone. Should I have Xiao Lu call up a few more of the boys to go drag that punk right back here? Li Jun suggested coldly. No, absolutely not. I shut him down immediately. A guy who can take down trained bodyguards is definitely not someone to underestimate. Sending more muscle won't do any good. We absolutely cannot play right into his hands. This guy is too dangerous. No matter how many men you bring, it'd just be a waste. I want you to call the police right now. Huh? Call the cops? Li Jun was completely dumbfounded, his mouth hanging wide open. Yes, call the police, I said calmly. After all, we are law-abiding, upstanding citizens. My son's legs were violently broken. What's wrong with calling the cops? Even though he was bursting with questions, Li Jun hung up the phone and did as he was told. On the other side of town, Chief Zhang Zhen turned to stone the moment he got the news. Without a second thought, he immediately mobilized his officers. Chief, what happened? Duty Officer Lu Ruoxi asked, looking sharp and incredibly fierce in her crisp uniform. Seeing her boss's grim expression, she instantly went on high alert. It's a disaster, a huge disaster. Zhang Zhen's voice was filled with sheer panic. Do you know who Qin Tian is? The head of the Qin Group? Yeah, I know him. He's a model entrepreneur, a CEO, and he's all over the news. A top CEO, everyone knows him. Exactly, his son got his legs completely shattered this morning, and they've already identified the suspect. You want me to lead a team to make an arrest? Wait, what? I can't believe something like this happened. I guarantee the mission will be accomplished. After saying that, Lu Ruoxi put away the files and immediately deployed her team. Team 1, check the surveillance cameras. Team 2, head straight for the Tang family clinic. At the exact same time, back at the Lishan Villa, a voice suddenly popped into my head. The host has deviated from the usual tropes, completely disrupting the original storyline. Reclaimed 30 destiny points. Villain points increased by 800. Villain points have reached the required threshold. Would you like to unlock the system lottery? I silently muttered in my heart. Draw. Skill extraction complete. Congratulations to the host for acquiring a 10-year martial arts foundation. I froze for a second when I saw that. People actually cultivate internal energy in this day and age? Absolutely true, host. When the protagonist heals critically injured patients, he relies entirely on this stuff to keep them alive. Alright then, the protagonist really is an absolute cheat code. Wrapping up my thoughts, I silently commanded, claim. The next second, a surge of heat exploded from my navel, instantly rushing through every bone and limb in my body. Successfully claimed, receiving internal energy infusion. Physique, plus 20. Vitality, plus 50. Essence, plus 30. Whoa, my whole body felt like it had been electrocuted. I clenched my fists tightly. My muscles were twitching wildly, and my strength had grown by way more than just a little bit. What was even crazier was that the stats panel had refreshed, even though the draw cost 1,000 points. Getting this massive power spike in return was an absolute steal. At least I wasn't a total weakling anymore. Oh, right, there's still my poison arts. I was right in the middle of patting myself on the back, when I suddenly remembered I had business to attend to. I raised my hand and pressed the call button on the wall. Old Feng, get in here for a sec. Butler Feng's real name was Feng De. He was in his early 50s. But he still walked with a brisk, energetic stride. He usually lived in the small house in the front courtyard, and managed all the chores for the entire villa. Young master, what are your orders? In less than 2 minutes, Butler Feng appeared right in front of me. I first glanced up at the top of his head. Loyalty level, 91%. Truly worthy of being an old, loyal servant who had followed the Qin family for 2 generations. Now that I was sure he was fully reliable, I laid my cards on the table. I grabbed a pen and paper, quickly scribbling down a full page. Get everything on this list prepared as soon as possible. Butler Feng took it and took one look, his face instantly turning pale. 2 packs of silver needles, toxic centipede juice, venomous scorpion extract, poisonous snakefang powder. Young master, these things. The acupuncture gear at the beginning was normal enough, but the rest of these are highly toxic materials. Don't ask, I have my own use for them. Understood, I will get on it right away. Butler Feng bowed his head and backed out of the room. I slumped back onto the sofa. These things sounded terrifying, but for someone with my skills, they were just everyday supplies. I looked around the big, brightly lit house. Now that the serious business was done, I actually felt bored out of my mind. Might as well find some entertainment. At that exact same moment, the blue lights of police sirens were flashing wildly outside the gates of the Tang family's residential area. Lin Feng had just finished eating and was about to head downstairs for a walk to digest his food, only to run straight into Lu Ruoxi as she stepped out of her car. His eyes suddenly lit up, seeing him staring right at her. Lu Ruoxi's brows instantly pulled into a tight frown. His face matched the photo perfectly. She marched straight over with 2 officers. Name? Lin Feng flashed a cheeky grin. Gorgeous officer. Asking me? Who else? Do you see anyone else here? That slick, flirty tone just made Lu Ruoxi even more annoyed. Little did she know, this was the classic main character opening trope. I'm Lin Feng. What can I do for you, officer? Someone pressed charges against you for intentional assault. Come with us to the station for an investigation. Lin Feng froze on the spot. What the heck? Before he could even finish his sentence, the 2 officers had already flanked him from both sides. Hold on a sec, officer. Did you guys make a mistake? He sensed something was off, and his face instantly turned serious. Are you out of your mind? Don't you know exactly what you did? Just come with us. Lu Ruoxi wasn't going to give him a single chance to talk his way out of it. The second she finished speaking, she grabbed him. According to the original plot, this stunning and highly skilled police beauty was an important character who wouldn't show up until much later. But now, because Qin Tian had meddled in the storyline, the entire timeline was a total mess, and Lin Feng had bumped into her way too early. At this point in time, Lin Feng hadn't even had the chance to build his network, make connections, or make a name for himself. With absolutely nobody backing him up, he completely lost that usual arrogant confidence in front of the cops. And that was the exact reason why I could rake in so many villain points. Pinned down right there on the street, Lin Feng's brows pulled into a tight frown. His mind raced frantically. A few seconds later, he just threw his hands up and gave up resisting. No need for you 2 officers to get rough. I can walk myself. What? Lin Feng got taken away? Tang Deshuen almost jumped out of his chair when he heard the news. Yeah, Grandpa, Tang Shui quickly chimed in. I was just heading out to go shopping, and I saw the police car pull him over and take him away. How could this happen? Tang Deshuen completely panicked. Xiao Shui, hurry, come with me to the police station right now. Right now? Tang Shui thought he was overreacting a bit, but after a second thought, she nodded and agreed. The news of Lu Ruoxi taking Lin Feng away spread faster than wildfire. Within minutes, Chief Zhang Zhen had also caught wind of it. To keep the situation under control, Zhang Zhen immediately made a call to my driver, Li Jun. I was just sitting there bored out of my mind, counting cracks on the ceiling. But the moment I heard about this, I perked right up. Without a second thought, I grabbed Li Jun, and we slammed the gas all the way to the police station. The second the doors of the Rolls-Royce opened, a bunch of rookie cops quickly rushed over to greet me. Good afternoon, Mr. Chin. Thanks for your hard work, everyone. I waved my hand casually, but that simple gesture left the officers totally stunned. Such a massive big shot, and he doesn't put on airs at all? Right this way, Mr. Chin. One of the young officers snapped back to reality, and eagerly offered to lead the way. Seeing this, I brought Li Jun along, following them at a totally relaxed pace. So you admit it then? You're the one who did it. Lin Feng just cracked a grin and shrugged his shoulders. What's the point of denying it? I did it, so I own it. Lu Ruoxi was grinding her teeth in frustration. This guy clearly stepped in to save someone, but he was absolutely ruthless about it. And to top it off, he acted like he couldn't care less. That cocky, laid-back attitude of his just made her blood boil. Right at that moment, I pushed open the door to the interrogation room and walked in, catching this exact scene. The second my eyes landed on Lu Ruoxi's face, my heart skipped a beat. This female cop had flawless, fair skin and a face so stunning she looked like she'd stepped right out of a painting. Her curves were perfect, too. In a room full of cops, she was freakishly gorgeous. But more importantly, she was interrogating the protagonist. Damn it, isn't this the classic female lead setup? I'd somehow accidentally helped the protagonist meet another heroine. Before this, I was only focused on farming villain points from Tang Shui. I completely forgot that every urban novel has the mandatory gorgeous cop heroine. If I'd known, I wouldn't have called the cops even for 10,000 villain points. System, just how thick is this kid's plot armor? I couldn't help but scream in my head. Scanning target character. Name, Lin Feng. Luck points, 3,753. Confirmed as the child of fortune. Seeing this, I was utterly speechless. Over 3,700. I didn't even have a fraction of that. I give up. I totally give up. As soon as Lu Ruoxi saw me walk in, she and her colleague quickly stood at attention. You must be Mr. Chin, right? That's right, I am. I didn't want to give Lin Feng the time of day. I turned straight to Lu Ruoxi. Officer Lu, you should know exactly why I'm here, right? I do, Lu Ruoxi replied softly. Mr. Chin, could we go somewhere else to talk for a moment? No problem. Seeing me agree so readily, Lu Ruoxi breathed a quiet sigh of relief, then led me into an office. I didn't hold back, pulling out a chair and sitting right across from her. Mr. Chin, regarding the incident from this morning, we've basically got the full picture now. It started because your son, Lu Ruoxi, laid out all the facts they had, detail by detail. And that's roughly how it all happened. Mr. Chin, how do you think we should handle this? After she finished speaking, Lu Ruoxi snuck a quick glance at me, as if testing the waters to see my reaction. The room stayed completely silent for a long moment before I finally spoke up. Your findings pretty much match what I've heard, and you don't need to walk on eggshells around me. Just process it by the book. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I just want justice. Hearing this, Lu Ruoxi looked completely caught off guard. After all, the incident wasn't that big of a deal, and with my background in Chuming City, making it disappear would be a piece of cake. Realizing this, Lu Ruoxi spoke up again. In my experience, for cases like this, it's best if both parties sit down and talk it out first. If we can settle this privately, it would obviously save everyone a lot of trouble. Hearing that, the corner of my mouth twitched up, and I let out a laugh. Officer Lu, tell me, how exactly are we supposed to settle this privately? Are you expecting me, an elder, to sit down calmly with some kid and negotiate a payout? Lu Ruoxi completely froze. She realized her mistake. Exactly, the man had mountains of money. Like I'd care about Lin Feng's pitiful compensation. Alright, don't stress over it. I just stood straight up. I'll have my lawyer handle things from here. Seeing Lu Ruoxi freeze up. You just got up to take your leave. Getting a guy like Lin Feng locked up for a few days is pretty amusing just thinking about it. Let's just leave it at that. I've got things to do, so I won't stick around. Sorry for the trouble today. I reached out my hand, sounding incredibly polite. And no problem. It's our job. Lu Ruoxi was a little dazed, instinctively reaching out to shake it. In that split second, I just felt how cool and soft her hand was. It was really strange, watching you actually leave the station with your driver. Lu Ruoxi looked completely lost. Logically, since they knew Lin Feng was arrested, shouldn't their first move be pulling strings to apply pressure? Why would they personally make a trip to the police station? Back in the interrogation room, Lin Feng was fully prepared to clash with you head-on. But when you arrived, you didn't even spare him a single glance. In that instant, Lin Feng almost choked on his own rage. HMPH, one day, I'm gonna make you Chin family bastards beg me on your knees. The one thing a man can stand the least is being completely ignored. This totally sparked his ruthless side. Outside the station, you hadn't left yet. Just then, an inconspicuous Buick slowly pulled up nearby. Two people stepped out. You actually recognized one of them. Oh, little lady, we sure have some deep destiny, huh? Bumping into each other even at a police station. You weren't in a rush to get in your car. Instead, you smiled and walked over. Mr. Chin. Hello. As soon as Tang Shui saw it was you, the color drained from her face. She even started stuttering. What, look like you've seen a ghost? You narrowed your eyes, your tone laced with a hint of teasing. I am Tang Deshuen, an honor to meet you, Mr. Chin. As Tang Shui stood there tongue-tied, Tang Deshuen hurried forward, smiling apologetically and bowing. Tang Deshuen? I let out a soft chuckle. I know you. the famous traditional Chinese medicine doctor in Chuming City. I hear your medical skills are pretty incredible. You flatter me, Mr. Chin. Tang Deshuen quickly bowed his head. It's no flattery. Your name, I've heard of it for a long time. By the way, what brings you here, old man? You were purely asking when you already knew the answer. But it made old man Tang's heart skip a beat. He didn't believe for a second that you didn't know. Lin Feng was connected to him. In other words, you were testing his attitude. Old Tang had been around the block his whole life. He knew the ways of the world perfectly. He immediately caught on, and quickly spoke up. Mr. Chin, I am truly sorry. I only heard last night that young brother Lin got into a dispute with your son. Young Lin just arrived in Chuming City. He's completely unfamiliar with the area. A moment of impulsiveness is inevitable. I beg you to be the bigger person, and let him off the hook this once. Tang Deshuen really was quite the character. Those words hid several layers of meaning. First, saying he only found out at night. He's clearing his own name, proving he's not an accomplice and didn't tip him off beforehand. Plus, mentioning that Lin Feng just arrived implies their relationship isn't that deep. They're just old acquaintances. He's clearly here to beg for mercy. Yet he's acting so humble and low-key, like he's yielding. He's drawing a clear line without offending either side. Killing 3 birds with 1 stone. I let out a soft chuckle. Elder Tang, I really don't understand what you're getting at. I, Qin Tian, am just an honest businessman. My son gets beaten up, and all I can do is call the police. You're asking me to show mercy? I'm just a law-abiding citizen. Since when do I have the power to interfere with official police matters? But you don't need to worry. Whoever is in the wrong will take full responsibility. My son was the one who started this mess, so I won't falsely accuse anyone. Nor will I take my anger out on innocent bystanders. As for this little dispute between my son and that Lin Feng, I trust the police will handle it with absolute fairness. Wouldn't you agree? Tang Deshuen was left completely speechless. Seeing this, I waved my hand dismissively and added, All right, I've got things to do. Take care now. With that said, I gave the old man a brief nod, turned around and slid into the back of the Rolls-Royce. My movements were crisp and decisive, leaving absolutely no room for negotiation. But no one noticed that. Right before the door closed, a cold smirk crept onto my lips. Trying to smooth things over? Old man Tang is way too naive. I finally managed to throw this bastard behind bars. How could I possibly let him out so easily? Old Li, give Deng Junchu a call. Tell him he's taking this case. Find a way to lock that punk up for good. Understood, Boss Chin. Even though old Li was secretly muttering to himself, completely baffled as to why the boss insisted on going through official channels to handle this. The news quickly reached Deng Junchu. After hearing the whole story, he slapped his thigh and declared that Lin Feng was definitely doing time this round. Sure, Qin Shiji was in the wrong for throwing the first punch. But Lin Feng's brutal combo was way too ruthless. The guy just throws a single punch, and you turn around and kick him flying several meters away. Beating down the bodyguards wasn't enough. You just had to walk up and viciously stomp on Qin Shiji's shin bone until it snapped. That kind of brutal finishing move was clearly meant to destroy him, with the evidence right in front of them. Every single piece hitting the nail on the head. If he still couldn't send that guy to prison, then he might as well quit the business. By the time I got home, it was already 9 o'clock at night. My ass hadn't even touched the sofa before the doorbell suddenly rang. Right after that, Butler Feng's voice drifted over. Young master, Miss Miu has arrived. Hearing this, I frowned slightly. Show her in. Miu Dai stepped through the door, her movements sharp and efficient. She was my private secretary, named Mirong Dai, though everyone usually just called her Miu Dai. Her black hair was pinned up in a neat bun, and she wore a pair of black framed glasses. Dressed in a crisp white shirt and a black skirt, paired with sheer stockings and high heels, she walked in with an undeniable aura of authority. Boss Chin, she stood perfectly still in the living room, her tone highly respectful. I gave her a quick look up and down, and let out a faint in response. Have a seat. After the original owner's wife left, he did have a few women on the side, but Miu Dai was never one of them. Was she not pretty enough? Not at all. The bottom line is, this woman can handle anything, and the company just can't run without her. No matter how crazy Qin Tian was, he would never ruin such a crucial pillar just for a moment of pleasure. Mr. Chin, let me go over your schedule for tomorrow and our recent work. I nodded. The executive meeting originally set for today was postponed because of the young master's incident. It has been moved to 10 in the morning tomorrow. Also, Boss Su from the Su Group invited you to dinner tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock at the Imperial Hotel. Discuss the details of the partnership between our two families. Here's your itinerary. Would you like to take a look? She asked, handing me a sheet of paper. Hearing this, I waved my hand with a headache and said, no need. As long as you handle the arrangements, we're good. Understood, Mr. Chin. Here are the project files for the West City real estate, Right after that, she went on to brief me on the work progress over the past few days. It took nearly an hour before she finally took her leave, and with that, I finally wrapped up my very first day. As a CEO since crossing over into this world, early the next morning, I showed up at the company right on time, ready to clean up the mess. Meanwhile, Lin Feng had just spent the whole night locked up at the police station. The moment he heard he might actually go to prison, the guy was completely dumbfounded. First thing in the morning, Deng Junqiu came in and slapped him with 2 charges. Excessive self-defense and intentional assault. Put together, he'd be looking at a minimum of 2 to 3 years behind bars. Lin Feng's eyes turned ice cold. In his heart, he swore a bitter blood feud against the Qin family. But no matter how much he hated them, he just couldn't figure out a way out of this mess right now. Little brother Lin, I am so incredibly sorry about this, Tang Deshuen said, his face heavy with guilt. You really can't be blamed for this. I'm the one who didn't see the situation clearly. Lin Feng brushed it off casually, but deep down, he was fuming. The Qin family thinks they can make me rot in a cell? Not a snowball's chance in hell. The moment the words left his mouth, his mind was already racing a mile a minute. Seeing the sharp shift in Lin Feng's eyes, Tang Deshuen immediately chimed in. Little brother Lin, you just name it, and I, Tang Deshuen, will make it happen without hesitation. Lin Feng snapped back to reality and gave a slight smile. There actually is one thing. I'm going to have to trouble you to run a quick errand for me. Tang Deshuen raised an eyebrow, visibly a bit surprised. Before he could even ask, Lin Feng reached up and took a jade pendant off his neck. Please take this and hand it over to someone for me. Successfully pressed charges against the protagonist. Minor plot adjustment taking effect. Villain points increased by 300. Destiny points reclaimed, 20. I glanced at the system notification, my brow furrowing slightly. Only 300? I made 800 points just by calling the cops last time. And this time I brought in a whole legal team, just for this little payout? I shook my head, too lazy to dwell on it. It wasn't like I could control the system's rewards anyway. Better to just keep moving forward. Meanwhile, you're heading toward the company alongside your beautiful secretary, Mu Dai. You stride forward with a stoic expression, your eyes locked straight ahead. Mu Dai walks beside you clutching a briefcase, rattling off the various issues that need to be addressed at today's meeting. As she speaks, she keeps stealing quiet glances at the man right beside her. Standing tall and straight, his face carrying a fierce edge, yet perfectly composed. He was completely different from any man she had ever met. In her heart, he was the absolute template of a perfect man. It's just a shame that she came from an ordinary background. She was a million miles away from a top-tier billionaire like him. That little crush could only be buried deep inside her heart. She didn't even dare to dream about it. Yo, second brother, you finally made it. On the 88th floor of the Qin Corporation headquarters, the elevator doors slid open. A man in a suit was standing right by the conference room doors. His hair was slicked back and shiny, flashing a wide grin as he called out. The Qin family had 4 kids in total, and every single one of them was completely different. The eldest, Qin Zheng, served in the military for over a decade. He was the quiet, brooding type, and absolutely hated getting involved in business. He just managed a few luxury hotels, mostly just to be left in peace. The third brother, Qin Wu, totally lived up to his name. He was obsessed with martial arts all day long, and had an explosively fiery temper. He ran nothing but gyms, dojos, and nightclubs. As for the fourth sister, Qin Yu, she was a total boss lady with a master's degree from a top overseas university, managing all of the family's female consumer brands. Sharp, swift, and fiercely decisive. And then there's me, the second brother. With an insane talent for business since I was a kid, the old man handed all the core family businesses straight to me. Now, you might be wondering, wouldn't the other siblings get jealous? Honestly, not a chance. If you follow the classic novel tropes, villainous families all share one common trait. We are united like an iron fortress. You attack one of us, the whole family jumps in. You hurt one of us, the entire clan unleashes hell. And no, I'm not acting. That's just the absolute standard for us. Hey, third brother, what are you doing up here? I came to drop off an invitation for you. Qin Wu casually pulled out a gold stamped card. I'm getting married in half a month. You absolutely have to be there, second brother. I was gonna wait until the family dinner to give it to you. But I was afraid you'd forget. Getting married? I was totally caught off guard. Why so sudden? Come on, I'm already 38. Is getting married really considered rushed at this point? Qin Wu just flashed a wide grin, not caring in the slightest. Anyway, second brother, you really need to step up your game too, you know. As he said that, his eyes shifted, landing directly on Mu Dai, who was standing right next to me. I am fully ready to toast to you and Miss Mu at your wedding. I froze on the spot. My mind went totally blank. As for Mu Dai, her face instantly flushed a bright, burning red. Even the tips of her ears looked like they were about to start smoking. Can you be serious for one damn second? I finally snapped out of it and shot him a fierce glare. I swear, this guy is almost 40. And he still spends all day poking fun at me. Chin Woo just burst out laughing, slapping the table, clearly having the time of his life. We shot the breeze for a few more minutes, before Chin Woo shoved the wedding invitation into my hands. He didn't even stay for a meal, just turned around and left. As soon as he was gone, the Chin Corporation's routine executive meeting immediately kicked off. The massive conference table was packed with people, every single one of them a core member of the company. Looking out at this whole room full of people, sitting quietly and listening to me speak, I have to admit, it felt pretty damn satisfying. There wasn't any complicated agenda for this meeting. It was just the usual, like which plot of land got stuck in the permit approvals, which real estate project needed extra funding, or which connections we needed to smooth over with a little cash. With the original owner's memories as a base, plus Mu Dai right beside me helping to fill in the blanks. Handling all these matters actually went pretty smoothly, but what I completely failed to notice was, ever since Chin Woo brought it up just now, during the meeting, Mu Dai kept sneaking glances at him through her thick, black-rimmed glasses. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the Su family mansion in Chuming City. The head of the family, Su Zhengyang, stood right in the middle of his villa's living room, his brow deeply furrowed. He looked at his elderly father sitting on the sofa, completely baffled. Dad, just who exactly is the owner of this jade pendant? Is it really worth all this? Is it really worth offending the entire Chin family just for him? It's not my call to make. Old Master Su slowly turned the jade pendant over in his hands. The object had a bizarre shape, making it impossible to figure out its secrets. His voice was low, leaving absolutely no room for argument. This is a promise I made back in the day. Back then, I was running for my life during the war. My enemies had chased me right into a dead end. He was the one who saved my life. But even so, you still can't just take it upon yourself to marry Yanren off to some wet behind-the-ears kid, right? Su Zhengyang let out a heavy sigh. If Yanren finds out about this, she's going to flip the whole house upside down. Flip? What is there to flip out about? The old man let out a cold snort. It is an absolute blessing for her to become the fiancé of that man's apprentice. Other people couldn't beg for an opportunity this good if they tried. What exactly does she have to complain about? Grandpa, Dad, what are you guys talking about? A crisp, melodious voice suddenly rang out, instantly shattering the argument in the room. A figure dressed in a light blue sundress walked gracefully into the room. Su Yanren, Su Zhengyang's only daughter, 24 years old this year, standing at 5'5". Pitch black, perfectly straight hair fell naturally over her shoulders, flawlessly complementing her icy, absolutely perfect face. She was so stunningly beautiful that you simply couldn't look away. Yanren, what are you doing here? Staring at Su Yanren by the doorway, Su Zhengyang completely froze in place, his face flushing hot with sudden embarrassment. He hadn't breathed a single word to her about the arrangement he and the old man were just discussing. I left a document here. I just came back to grab it. Su Yanren replied with a flat tone, her sharp gaze shifting over to her father. Dad, I just heard you guys mention something about a fiancé. Why did that sound so weird? Su Zhengyang looked even more uncomfortable now. His fingers unconsciously fidgeted with the seam of his pants. Sigh. You can run for now, but you can't hide forever. Since she already heard it, we might as well just lay all our cards on the table. Old Master Su waved a hand dismissively, his tone taking on a stubborn edge. Arranging a childhood marriage with an ice-cold beauty. This kind of trope is honestly pretty cliché. But if things follow the usual script, this icy female CEO definitely isn't going to buy into it. Next up, the old man is going to force the protagonist to start working at her company, setting him up with a job as a driver or a personal bodyguard. And then, the protagonist will use his skills to save her from danger time and time again, until that stubborn block of ice naturally melts down into a warm spring. Sure enough, the second Su Yanren heard what was going on, she absolutely blew her top. I am not getting married. Tossing that out, she snatched up her documents, spun on her heel, and stormed right out. The door slammed shut with a massive bang behind her. Old Master Su let out a heavy sigh. Su Zhengyang could only offer a bitter smile and shake his head. But deep down, the old man knew exactly what he was doing. Given enough time, his granddaughter is bound to fall for that punk. Little Dai, how much liquid cash do we have available in the company accounts right now? Talking business over the dinner table is already the norm for a lot of people in Sha country. So, for the meeting between the Chin and Su families, Mu Dai specifically booked it for 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Around 6 billion, give or take. I stroked my chin and nodded. That is more than enough. Do you need to use the funds, Boss Chin? If you need it, I can transfer it right now. No need, I was just asking. Just go and get ready for our meeting later. Honestly, for me right now, just holding on to the family business is enough. Why would I want to mess around with other ventures? Besides, no matter how fast other businesses make money, could they ever be faster than scamming the protagonist? At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I took Mu Dai and headed straight to the Imperial Hotel. As soon as we reached the entrance, a man in a suit hurried over to greet us. Good evening, Boss Chen. I am the manager here. My surname is Gong. Boss Su is already waiting for you in the private room. Lead the way. Walking through the corridor, we quickly arrived at the heaven-tier private room. Haha, Boss Chin is here. Please, come in, come in. Hello, Uncle Chen. Oh, if it isn't little Yanren. I looked her up and down. Oh my, you have grown so tall. Come here and let me give you a hug. Those words almost slipped right out. Thank goodness I caught myself in time, and swallowed them right back down. Both families are top-tier wealthy households in Chuming City. Of course, we know each other. Our relationship isn't exactly rock solid, but it isn't terrible either. The Su family's main business is home appliance manufacturing. They have quite a reputation in the industry. The reason we are teaming up this time is because things got a little messy over a plot of land. The Su family doesn't touch real estate, and their money is mostly tied up in home appliances. But they are well connected. So, the Chin and Su families plotted together to get our hands on that land. They will leave the development to the Chin family. The Su family won't put up any money. They will just take a cut of the profits. Aside from the driver and bodyguards, the Su family brought 3 people this time. Su Zhengyang, his daughter Su Yanren, and a female secretary by their side. When I first laid eyes on Su Yanren, I was completely stunned for a second. This girl's looks are absolutely flawless. She is stunningly beautiful, but her gaze is as cold as a frozen winter lake. A typical aloof, high-powered female boss vibe. Before, there was a frail little nurse, a hot-tempered policewoman, and now, an ice-cold beauty pops up. Could she be one of the female leads too? Before a female lead's relationship with the protagonist reaches a certain level, her fortune won't flow over to the villain. She looks just like an ordinary person, so you can't directly detect who the female lead is. You just have to guess. Right now, Su Yanren seems to fit the bill, but you can't exactly pat your chest and guarantee it. On the surface, the 2 bosses greeted each other politely, but the ones actually discussing the details were Mu Dai and that female secretary named Li Yutong. Boss Chen, I heard your son got into a fight with someone yesterday, and even ended up in the hospital. Is that true? We haven't even touched the food yet. Su Zhengyang spoke up first to test the waters. That is exactly right. Indeed, such a mess happened. My son was definitely in the wrong first. But the other guy went way too far. He struck right at the vitals. There is no way I could just let that slide, so I have already called the cops. The guy is sitting in a holding cell right now. Ding, female lead, Su Yanren, has changed her perception of the host. Villain points increased by 100. Destiny points increased by 10. I raised an eyebrow, thinking to myself, what in the world is going on? I only said a few words, and her impression already changed? I subconsciously glanced over at Su Yanren. I did not expect her to be looking right at me, too. Our eyes met dead on. The weird part is, Su Yanren actually blushed a little. Realizing something felt off, she quickly tried to smooth things over. Uncle Chin, I used to hear people say that you were incredibly protective of your son, and that you let him get away with absolutely anything. But looking at you today, those rumors were completely baseless. Haha, little Su, you really know how to sweet-talk a guy. I said with a laugh. But you are actually a bit off the mark there. Be honest, those rumors are not entirely false. At this point, my expression turned serious. In my early years, I was completely focused on building my career. I had absolutely no time to discipline my kid. Shi Jia's current temper is mostly my fault for spoiling him so much. But over the past few years, I have finally figured things out. From now on, I am definitely going to be strict with him. I cannot let him cause this kind of disaster ever again. I spoke with absolute sincerity. While saying this, I was secretly wondering to myself, can I milk a few more villain points out of this? As a result, not only was Su Yanren surprised, but even her dad, Su Zhengyang, was slightly taken aback. Even Mu Dai, who was chatting with his secretary, turned her head to shoot me a glance. Ding, successfully reversed the female lead, Su Yanren's, perception of the host. Villain points increased by 300. Destiny points increased by 20. The key character, Su Zhengyang, has successfully changed his perception of the host. Villain points increased by 200. Destiny points increased by 10. Villain points have reached the required threshold. A lucky draw is now available. Would you like to draw immediately? I can actually do a draw? Wait a second, Su Zhengyang counts as well? Just what kind of status does he hold in the story? My heart skipped a beat. Seeing the words, key character, in the system, my mind instantly cleared up. I am guessing it is the type of character who, in the original plot, would have helped Lin Feng. Anyone who helps him must count as a key character. People like this, as long as I change their opinion of me, they will indirectly provide me with system resources. Thinking about this, I almost slammed my fist on the table. If I had known earlier, I would have bullied Tang Dexuan way more. Ability drawn successfully, combat skills, max level. I had been looking for a way to boost my own strength for a while now. The moment I saw max level combat skills, confirm, I did not even blink an eye. Confirmed right on the spot. After acquiring max level combat skills, my brain was suddenly flooded with a massive amount of new knowledge. The current me is so much stronger than back when I was just blindly accumulating inner energy. President Chin, what profound life lessons have you figured out lately? It has been so long since we last met, and your entire aura has completely changed. Su Zhengyang took the bottle from the waiter and personally poured me a glass of Romani Conti. Seeing this, I just reached out and took it, not holding back at all. We both took a gentle sip, making a bit of small talk as we drank. Once all the dishes were served, Su Zhengyang finally put down his fork, his tone shifting. To be honest, Mr. Chin, meeting you today, besides talking about our partnership, I also have a small favor to ask of you. As soon as those words came out, I already knew exactly what was going on. Just say it straight, I absolutely hate beating around the bush. Su Zhengyang was actually taken aback for a second. Ahem, since you're being so straightforward, I won't hide it either. Truth be told, that Lin Feng who got into a fight with your son yesterday has some ties to my Su family. As he spoke, he sneakily peeked at your expression. Seeing that you didn't have much of a reaction, he continued. Could I ask you to just let this slide? Please don't pursue it any further. And let the kid avoid doing time behind bars. He really did come here for Lin Feng, even though the system rewards had already hinted that Su Zhengyang was a crucial character. I never expected this guy would actually swallow his pride and personally beg me, just to protect Lin Feng. That Lin Feng has only been in Chuming City for a few days. How did he latch onto the Su family's influence so fast? Typical protagonist luck, he finds a powerful backer wherever he goes. His plot armor is just ridiculous. If it were the old Qin Tian, he might have actually fallen for those words. You put on an act, pondering for a few seconds before slowly speaking up. To be honest, Mr. Su, I really had no idea that kid had such a deep background. To think he's actually tied to your Su family. Actually, my son was the one who started the trouble yesterday. I originally wanted him to learn a lesson the hard way, but Lin Feng just went way too far. That's why I had no choice but to take the legal route. Su Zhengyang was stunned as he listened. Then, what are you saying? Since you've already put it like that, Mr. Su, wouldn't it be a slap in the face if I said no? Forget about the compensation, I'm not short on cash anyway. Just have him come over and apologize to me in person, and we can consider this whole thing over. How does that sound to you, Mr. Su? Hearing this, Su Zhengyang was absolutely thrilled and immediately agreed. Based on what he knew about you from before, you would either demand an outrageous sum of money, or get fiercely overprotective of your son, completely flipping out and severing ties on the spot. Either way, it would have started a bitter feud between the Su and Qin families. But who would have thought? Now, all it took was a simple apology. Who wouldn't agree to such a great deal? But Su Zhengyang had absolutely no idea that this was nowhere near as simple as it looked. Leaving everything else aside, just getting a guy like Lin Feng to swallow his pride and apologize was an almost impossible task. I mean, have you ever seen a novel's main character apologize to the villain? If the protagonist was that much of a coward, the fans would be the first to riot. Overjoyed, Su Zhengyang immediately pulled out his phone and made a call. Hurry to the police station and pick Lin Feng up. Just tell him the matter is settled. And you were just as swift and decisive. You turned right around and called Li Jun, telling him to notify Deng Junchu to drop the case. Stand down, with just one word from you. Deng Junchu immediately pulled back his team and left. Back at the police station, Lu Ruoxi could finally breathe a sigh of relief. She had been so worried earlier that the Qin family would be completely relentless. Police, because if they were, the officers handling the case would have a massive headache every single day. At that very moment, outside the police station, Lin Feng slowly strolled out the main gate. He snorted, looking completely relaxed. That jade pendant the old man gave me before I left sure comes in handy. The Qin family, they are really nothing special. I am out of here. Mr. Su is waiting at the Imperial Hotel, the driver reminded him coldly. Alrighty, I am on my way, Lin Feng replied with a chuckle. Before leaving, he glanced back at the police station gates. It is a bit of a shame I did not get to show off in front of Lu Ruoxi. But that did not matter right now. Hurrying over to meet his fiancée was the real priority. Half an hour later at the Imperial Hotel, you guys had already finished eating and drinking. While you were enjoying the air conditioning and shooting the breeze, Lin Feng pushed the door open and walked in, led by the driver. As soon as he walked in, his eyes quickly scanned the room. Every single one of the gorgeous women in the room was there. But when his gaze fell on Su Yanran, He instantly had his answer. He honestly never expected that such a stunning woman would actually be his fiancée. Holy crap, this face. She absolutely does not lose to Marong Dai, who is right beside Qin Tian. Coming down the mountain this time was totally worth it. So, you are Lin Feng? Seeing him walk in, Su Jingyang immediately put on the airs of a respected elder. Lin Feng bowed his head slightly, acting very respectful. It is an honor to meet you, Uncle Su. Seeing that the kid recognized who was who and actually had some manners, Su Jingyang nodded in satisfaction. He pointed to an empty seat next to them. Have a seat. Lin Feng did not hold back either. He plopped right down into the chair. Before we talk about anything else, let me introduce you. This is Mr. Qin. You two should have already met. Oh, we have met. Of course we have met. Lin Feng's lips curled up into a smirk. His tone dripped with sarcasm. If it was not for his son being completely blind, would I have been locked up in the police station? The moment those words left his mouth, everyone's faces dropped, except for yours, including Su Yanren and Marong Dai. Is this guy a total idiot? Daring to call Qin Tian's son a piece of trash right in front of two massive big shots. This was not just a slap in the face to Qin Tian. It was a direct slap to Su Jingyang too. Su Jingyang nervously shot you a glance, and seeing that you had not lost your temper yet, he quickly put on a stern face to do some damage control. Lin Feng, do you have any idea what kind of nonsense you are spouting? Lin Feng sensed that the vibe was completely off, but he still did not back down. Uncle Su, of course I know exactly what I am saying. His son was acting like a total creep in public, and even tried to lay a hand on me. He was strutting around like he owned the place just because he had bodyguards. If I had not reacted so fast, I would be lying in a hospital bed right now. This time, before you even had a chance to speak, Su Jingyang slammed the table and shot up from his chair first. You are absolutely out of control. The young master of the Qin family. Who do you think you are to point fingers at him? Right now, get your ass over there and apologize to Mr. Qin. Otherwise, I, Su Jingyang, will drop all pleasantries today, and absolutely no one will be able to walk away from this cleanly. Seeing Lin Feng acting incredibly arrogant and full of himself, Su Yanren furrowed her brows. Her heart instantly sank. She could not help but steal a quick glance at you. Compared to a hothead like Lin Feng, Uncle Qin just sitting there in silence looks incredibly steady and reliable. Now that is a man who can command a room. Lin Feng shot Qin Tian a look of pure disdain. Sorry, Uncle Su, I owe you one for what happened this time. But asking me to bow my head and apologize? Not gonna happen. His words were hard as stone, leaving absolutely no room for negotiation. You ungrateful brat. You're completely out of control. I never should have begged Mr. Qin to let you off the hook. Su Jingyang's voice trembled with sheer rage. He was so furious he was practically swearing. Hearing this, Lin Feng frowned. Uncle Su, you shouldn't have swallowed your pride to beg him in the first place. With my abilities, helping you swallow up the Qin family would be a piece of cake. Before Su Jingyang could even respond, a wave of severe dizziness hit him. He collapsed rigidly backward. Dad, what's wrong? Su Yanren, who was the closest, reacted first. Even you, who had been watching this drama unfold, froze for a second. With no time to think, you rushed forward to help catch him. But Lin Feng, seeing Su Jingyang collapse, didn't panic him at all. Instead, a gleam of excitement flashed in his eyes. His chance had come. As long as he cured him, all his previous troubles would be completely wiped away. The protagonist's plot armor was just that ridiculously strong. The more desperate the situation, the easier he could turn the tables. Just as the bodyguards reached down to carry him to the hospital, Lin Feng suddenly spoke up. Wait a second, let me take a look at him first. Su Yanren whipped her head around, and seeing it was him, her voice dropped to absolute ice. Guards, drag him out of here. I don't ever want to see his face again. Two bodyguards instantly moved into action. They closed in on Lin Feng from both sides. Seeing things going south, Lin Feng desperately shouted, I am a doctor. Uncle Su is having a sudden medical emergency. If I don't treat him right now, he'll be dead before he even reaches the hospital. The moment those words left Lin Feng's mouth, Su Yanren completely froze. Sure, her dad fainting was partly Lin Feng's fault, and she was absolutely sick and tired of this guy. But what he said actually made sense. The nearest hospital was at least 15 minutes away. If they hit traffic, it could take over half an hour. Seeing Lin Feng speak with such absolute certainty, without a hint of hesitation, Su Yanren's resolve began to waver. Just as she was about to nod and agree, a deep, steady voice came from right beside her. Yanren, do not trust him. Su Yanren snapped her head up, only to realize that you were already ordering the bodyguards to lay Su Jingyang flat. You had 2 fingers pressed to his pulse, your expression completely unfazed. Your father collapsed because this punk enraged him, and you're going to let him treat him now? Besides, look at him. He's barely in his 20s. What kind of doctor could he possibly be? Su Yanran immediately snapped out of it. But, Uncle Chin, we can't just sit here and do nothing. Hearing this, you simply waved your hand dismissively. Your fingers remained firmly on Su Zhengyang's wrist. Relax, I've got this. Saying that, you leaned over to check his breathing, and quickly began unbuttoning Su Zhengyang's shirt. Lin Feng, absolutely boiling with rage, roared out at the top of his lungs, Qin Tian, you're just using this to get back at me. You're gonna delay his treatment. You're gonna kill him. Right now was his only chance to turn the tables. But with that chance brutally snatched away, how could he not be losing his mind? Shut up, you snapped coldly. You didn't have time for his nonsense. After checking for a faint pulse, you quickly laid the man flat and started chest compressions. Everyone was totally dumbfounded. Who would have thought the high and mighty CEO Qin actually knew first aid? Even Lin Feng, who was gritting his teeth and ready to keep cursing, froze when he saw your technique. Your form was absolutely flawless. The rhythm, the pressure, the hand placement. You couldn't find a single fault. Even if he did it himself, he wouldn't do any better. Back off, everyone. Don't crowd him. Give him some air, Qin Tian ordered, never breaking his rhythm. His tone was absolute. Move it. The crowd quickly backed away. Su Yanran didn't have time to overthink it. She just hurried to do as she was told, standing on the sidelines with her fists tightly clenched. Her own heart pounded with every compression. Thankfully, she didn't have to wait long. With a little hidden boost from your inner energy, Su Zhengyang's body suddenly twitched on the floor. A faint pulse returned to his chest. Seeing this, Su Yanran cried out in pure relief. Uncle Qin, my dad's heartbeat is back. Qin Tian gave a brief nod, did a few more compressions, and finally stopped and stood up. Your dad already had underlying heart issues. He got too worked up just now and couldn't catch his breath. He's stable now. Have someone carry him to the sofa to rest. Seeing her father breathing normally again, Su Yanran turned back, looking at you with deep gratitude. Thank you so much, Uncle Qin. I had no idea you knew how to do this. You're amazing. You just gave a calm, faint smile. Rolling your wrists and stretching your shoulders, you replied, it's just a basic skill. Nothing special. Just then, Murong Dai quietly stepped up. She handed you a tissue. Boss Qin, wipe your sweat. You took the tissue, dabbing your forehead. You glanced around the room with a frown. Where the hell did that Lin Feng kid go? Suddenly, the system chimed in again. Ding. Congratulations, host, for saving a key character before the protagonist could. Rewarded 1,500 villain points. You also stole back 500 luck points. Villain points have reached the threshold. System skill draw unlocked. Would you like to draw now? There was no point in saving a draw. You went ahead and started the draw. Draw successful. Choose one of two options. Option 1. God tier piano skills. Maxed out to perfection. Option 2. World-class dancing skills. With an unbeatable sense of rhythm. Honestly, the two skills offered this time were pretty useless. Playing the piano or dancing? What a joke. You'd never need either. So, you casually picked the piano skill, just because it looked a bit classier. Figured you could use it to show off later. Dad, wake up. About a minute later, Su Zhengyang, who had been hurriedly carried to the sofa by a few bodyguards, slowly opened his eyes. Still completely dazed, he mumbled, What just happened to me? Dad, you passed out all of a sudden. It was Uncle Qin who saved you, Su Yanran quickly explained. As his memories slowly pieced back together, the look of absolute shock in Su Zhengyang's eyes as he stared at you only grew deeper. Later on, Su Zhengyang was still sent to the hospital, even though he had already caught his breath. Given a man of his status, going in for a full checkup was the only way to be safe. His daughter, Su Yanran, naturally had to go with him. Right before they left, she specifically pulled you aside and whispered an apology. After all, they were the ones who begged you to let Lin Feng go. But little did they know, you were absolutely thrilled on the inside. From that little stunt just now, not only did you rake in a massive amount of villain points and luck points, Su Zhengyang even made the call right on the spot, giving up 10% of the profits from the joint project as a thank you gift. Don't look down on that mere 10%. With the kind of resources both families could pull together, the pure profit of this deal would easily hit a baseline of over 5 billion, meaning 10% was a clean 500 million right off the bat. The only thing that left a bad taste in your mouth was that punk Lin Feng had slipped away. You originally planned to use the Su family to teach him a harsh lesson, but the plan fell through. It honestly pissed you off a bit, but you also understood one thing. To crush a child of destiny, like him, you had to take your time and play the long game. Meanwhile, Lin Feng really had made a run for it, the moment he realized he'd caused a massive disaster, and after seeing you perform that flawlessly textbook, picture-perfect CPR. He instantly knew he was in deep trouble, but after he managed to escape, the more he thought about it, the more something felt off. The events of the past 2 days just kept flashing through his mind. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Especially with you. You didn't play by the rules at all. Now that his connection to the Su family was completely severed, the Tang family probably wasn't a safe bet either. He had to change his name and identity right now. He needed to completely vanish from the Qin family's radar. That was his only chance to turn the tables. With his mind made up, Lin Feng already knew exactly what his next move was. "Hey kid, hand over the cash." Just as he was deep in thought, two blonde street thugs suddenly blocked his path. They each had a shiny dagger gleaming in their hands. They clearly meant business. "You just had to walk right into my line of fire, didn't you?" In the very next second, wave after wave of agonizing screams echoed through the narrow alleyway. Meanwhile, back in the Rolls-Royce, Mirong Dai was secretly studying her boss, Qin Tian, whose eyes were closed, and that complicated little feeling in her heart was only growing stronger. It was a real eye-opener for her. Other billionaires spent their days counting money, golfing, or going to banquets. Yet her boss actually knew such a textbook-perfect first aid technique. And honestly, when he was performing CPR on Su Zhengyang just now, that look of pure, intense focus, it almost made her own heart stop beating. "Old Lee, put on some music, would you? Let's relax for a bit," you suddenly said out loud. This startled Mirong Dai so much that she instantly looked away, pretending to stare out the window. As the music began to play, you closed your eyes once again. At that moment, your mind was racing. Judging by Su Zhengyang's reaction back there, he had absolutely no ties to Lin Feng. The one who really had a connection with the kid was the old patriarch of the Su family, Su Guofu, which meant, as long as the old man was still covering for Lin Feng, "This little punk is going to be a real pain in the neck," you muttered under your breath. Lin Feng had now gone completely into hiding. The tables had turned, he was in the shadows, and you were out in the open. This situation was completely unacceptable. Thinking of this, you opened your eyes and spoke up once more. "Old Lee, when we get back, get some guys together. Find out exactly where Lin Feng is. And remember, don't get too close, and absolutely no fighting. Report back the second you have news." After giving the order, you couldn't help but frown and add, "Old Lee, what on earth is this song? Change it, change it." You weren't sure if it was because you had just acquired top-tier piano skills that your ears had become so picky. Li Jun looked completely bewildered. "You want me to change the song, sir, but there are only 2 or 3 saved in the car. You usually never listen to music anyway, so I just put one on at random." Seeing this, Mirong Dai asked curiously, "Mr. Chen, are you in the mood for some music?" "Not necessarily, it just feels a bit too quiet on the drive." Mirong Dai immediately caught on. "How about I look something up on my phone and connect it to the Bluetooth? That way, you can listen to whatever you want." Qin Tian's eyes lit up. Suddenly thinking of something, he said, "Alright, then put on 1,000 Sad Reasons. Otherwise, sitting in silence this whole trip is gonna drive me crazy." It was an incredibly old song, but it was exactly your cup of tea. Mirong Dai was completely confused. The name sounded totally made up. After searching for a while, she just couldn't find the one you mentioned. "Mr. Chin, I can't find it. You must have remembered the name wrong." Hearing this, your brow twitched. Vaguely sensing something was off, you said, "Then look up Jackie Chung." "Jackie Chung? Is he a singer?" Mirong Dai was confused, but she did as she was told anyway. Unfortunately, there were still no results. Qin Tian's face darkened slightly. Taking the pink phone Mirong Dai handed over, you started typing furiously yourself. You typed in the names of all the 4 heavenly kings from your past life. Finally, you slowly leaned back in your seat. You let out a soft sigh. Now, you completely understood. It turned out you had been reborn into a parallel universe. Although the general outline was similar to your past life, many of the famous stars and actors simply didn't exist here. You waved your hand, saying tiredly, "Forget it, I don't want to listen anymore. It's just exhausting. If I can't even find the 4 heavenly kings or Jay Cho, then what the hell is the point? Without all those classic songs you used to listen to and hum along to." You felt incredibly suffocated for a moment, but the only person going crazier than you right now was Grandpa Su. Having just heard that his own son was actually angered so badly by Lin Feng that he passed out on the spot. Grandpa Su immediately had his driver prepare the car and rushed straight to the hospital. The moment he walked in, he demanded to know exactly what happened. Not holding back in the slightest. "Did you really bring up that condition with Qin Tian?" Su Zhengyang, lying in bed, replied in a low, depressed voice. "We were having a perfectly fine conversation." Qin Tian agreed without a second thought. But who would have guessed that kid Lin Feng would suddenly pop out of nowhere? He pointed right at Qin Tian's kid and started cursing at him, right to his face. "Tell me, as an elder, how could I just stand there and pretend nothing was wrong? And well, this is where it got me." He let out a long, heavy breath, his fists clenching and unclenching. He was terrified of getting worked up again just by talking about it. After hearing this, Grandpa Sus' eyes lit up slightly. As if coming to a sudden realization, he said, listening to you tell it. This Lin Feng actually sounds exactly like his master back in his younger days. Hearing this, Su Jingyang's eyes nearly popped out of his head. Dad, did someone mess with your head? Are you seriously losing your memory? People with real skills usually have weird tempers. That's perfectly normal. The old man's tone was steady as he continued muttering to himself. He was willing to stand up for a complete stranger. Which shows he has a really warm heart. He dared to lecture Qin Tian's son right under his nose. Proves he's got real backbone. Only a guy like him is truly worthy of Yanren. Dad, you need to snap out of it. Su Jingyang snapped back to reality, his face full of disbelief. He felt like the one lying on the hospital bed right now shouldn't be him. It should definitely be this crazy old man instead. If you knew about the old man's little speech, you would probably just shrug it off and mutter to yourself that it's totally normal. After all, how could a mere mortal ever resist the cheating powers of destined luck? The very next day, you arrived at the company bright and early, sitting behind your desk and leisurely spinning your pen. Your mind had already drifted a million miles away. You still had no idea how you even ended up transmigrating into this world. The worst part is, you spend all day scheming on how to stop the protagonist from stealing your spotlight. It totally ruined all the good days you were supposed to enjoy. Just thinking about it makes you furious. You immediately pulled out your phone and called Li Jun. Haven't you found Lin Feng yet? You clearly remember right now that Lin Feng's luck value is around 3,200. While yours is just over 700. That's a massive gap. You might just get overtaken any day now. After hearing that Li Jun hadn't made any progress, you decisively gave him a couple of tips. Have your men check the security footage at hotels and police stations right now. Also, keep a very close eye on places like parks, bars, and KT verses. These spots are the protagonist's absolute favorite places to hang out. In parks, you easily bump into mysterious old men handing out lucky encounters. At bars and KTVs, it's either rescuing someone or getting into a massive brawl. The entire plot explodes right there. Fans who watch my videos know this stuff by heart. Although Li Jun couldn't wrap his head around why they needed to guard these places. An order is still an order. He just had to do as he was told. Hanging up the phone, you narrowed your eyes and pondered your next move. According to your informants, Lin Feng had definitely left the Tang family. But that old man most likely gave him a lump sum of money. Otherwise, for a guy who's just starting out, where would he get the confidence to live so comfortably in such a short time? Since the Tang family loves playing the good guys, then why should I hold back at all? With that, you picked up your phone once again, and dialed a very special number. Boss Chen, need something from me? The voice on the other end was a sweet, delicate woman's. You cut right to the chase. I need someone. An unfamiliar face is fine, combat skills don't matter at all. The crucial part is they need to be a master of disguise. 1 million a month, that kind of money was absolute pocket change for you. She agreed right on the spot. The moment the 1 million hit the account, the owner of that unfamiliar bank account hadn't even processed it yet. But the fate of the Tang family had already been sealed. At 6 o'clock in the evening, inside that massive villa over at Lishan. Young master, the items you requested have been delivered. Butler Feng kept his head bowed, speaking in an incredibly respectful tone. Behind him stood 2 maids, each pushing a little trolley. The carts were packed to the brim. There were only 2 sets of silver needles, but the rest were entirely small bottles and large jars covered in labels. They were so colorful, it looked like an entire pharmacy had been moved right into the room. You simply hummed in response. Clear out a room downstairs. Leave all of this stuff in there from now on. After they finished sorting everything out, you stood completely alone in the middle of the empty living room, feeling absolutely sick of it all. You've already cleanly blocked all those messy flings from the past. Now, if you want a date, you can only pick from the girls you've met since you crossed over. Ideally, someone with that main heroine destiny. Not only could she cure your boredom, but she could also help you get stronger. But right now, there are only 3 heroines you can actually get in touch with. Tang Shui the nurse, Lu Ruoxi the cop, and Su Yanren, that icy CEO. He's barely spoken 2 words to any of these women. Hitting on them recklessly would just ruin everything. As for Mirong Dai, there's an 80% chance that woman isn't even a heroine type. Besides, she's been working overtime every single day lately. It's better not to. You scrolled through your contacts for ages, but couldn't find a single person to call. So you just threw on some everyday clothes and went out to get some fresh air by yourself. Meanwhile, in the security room of the Blue Shell Bar, a young guy in a security uniform was sitting with his legs crossed, lazily watching the monitors. Every little thing happening in the bar was right under his nose. But when he spotted a woman sitting in the corner, he completely froze. Su Yanren? What the hell is she doing here? Someone sat down next to him and casually said hi. Whatcha looking at, Feng? You seem totally zoned out. The guy's name was Tong Hai, and he had been working there for 5 or 6 years. Lin Feng brushed it off. Oh, nothing really. Just getting a feel for the place. He paused for a second, then asked, Hey, Hai. You've been around this block for a while, right? Do you know that guy drinking at table 7? He pointed at the screen, right at some dude who had just finished hitting on Su Yanren. You mean Joe Kai? Tong Hai glanced at the screen. He's just a small-time gang leader. Why, did he mess with you? No, nothing like that. Lin Feng answered vaguely. Honestly, our hero's luck was seriously off the charts. Even he couldn't have predicted this. Last night, he randomly beat up a couple of street punks causing trouble, and it turned out they were actually Boss Bao's men. As soon as Bao heard someone dared to mess with his crew, he showed up right away, talking a big game. He demanded a one-on-one fight right then and there, but as it turned out, Boss Bao's old injuries suddenly flared up. He even had a slight limp when walking. Lin Feng spotted the problem right away. He patched the guy up in just a few moves. Brother Bao was completely blown away on the spot. He immediately hooked him up with a security captain position. Of course, Lin Feng was after a lot more than just this little gig. He had caught wind that Third Master Jin was in poor health. If he could heal that big shot, he'd finally have the leverage to go head-to-head with you. But Third Master Jin hasn't been in Chuming lately, so Brother Bao had no choice but to stash him here at the Blue Shell Bar, working as a security captain just for the time being. Seeing Su Yanren being harassed by Zhou Kai just now, Lin Feng instinctively knew this wouldn't be the end of it. That's exactly why he poked his nose in and asked, but he completely failed to notice. In a booth on the other side of the bar, sat the very man he wanted to skin alive. Looking at Su Yanren sitting quietly in the distance, your eyes lit up. What was she doing here? The original owner of this body used to hook up with a flight attendant at this exact bar. Bored out of your mind, you figured you'd drop by to see if anyone caught your eye. Pulling an all-nighter wouldn't be a bad idea either. Who would have thought you'd actually bump into Su Yanren, that ice-cold female CEO? Sitting all alone in a bar corner in the dead of night. He knew this plot way too well. The female lead showing up alone at a place like this? In less than 10 minutes, some local punks were bound to show up and cause trouble. And then the male lead makes his entrance, saves the damsel, looks cool, and scores some major points. Now that Su Yanren is sitting over there all alone, could Lin Feng be lurking somewhere nearby? Thinking of this, the corner of your mouth curls up, revealing a very intriguing smirk. And things play out exactly as you predicted. After waiting for 2.5 minutes, a few shady-looking guys sidle up to her. At the same time, you notice the glass in Su Yanren's hand is trembling violently. She's clearly had way too much to drink. Seeing this, you instantly know, your moment has arrived. Meanwhile, over at Su Yanren's table, a big, burly guy leers at her with a creepy grin and says, Hey there, beautiful. How about doing us a favor? Have a drink with me and my buddy, eh? Even though Su Yanren's head is swimming, her fiery temper hasn't changed one bit. But instead of getting mad, the burly guy actually laughs. I like that attitude. He winks at his buddy. The blonde guy next to him instantly gets the hint, and slides a cocktail right in front of Su Yanren. Listen up, lady. I'm Wang Wu, the big boss around these parts. Everyone knows my name, and tonight, I've got my eyes on you. I'm giving you 2 options. You either come with me, or you down this glass. And I will back right, but before he can even finish his sentence, Su Yanren grabs the glass, tilts her head back, and downs it in one shot. She slams the empty glass down onto the table with a loud thud. She spits out a single word, scram. Her fierce reaction actually stuns Wang Wu for a second. Ha ha ha, didn't expect you to be so bold. Wang Wu's tone suddenly shifts. But I wasn't finished talking, you see. What I was going to say is, once you drink that glass, you belong to me. He steps closer with a sleazy, sinister grin. Since you're so eager, why don't you come with me right now? I promise I'll be gentle with you later. He reaches his filthy hand toward Su Yanren's shoulder. Seeing this, panic shocks her awake for a split second. Realizing she's cornered by a total creep, she struggles to stand up. But the alcohol has completely taken over her body. The moment she pushes herself up, her vision goes completely black, and she collapses right back into the chair. She watches helplessly as his hand gets closer and closer, but her body refuses to move. It's over. A chilling despair grips her heart. But just as that hand is less than 10 centimeters away from her, it abruptly freezes. Then, a cold, indifferent voice cuts through the air. A piece of trash like you doesn't even deserve to touch her. What the hell? Where the fuck did you crawl out from? You dare get in my way? Wang Wu tries to jerk his arm away, cursing violently as he prepares to throw a punch. But halfway through his threat, his wrist is suddenly crushed in a grip like an iron vice. His entire body locks up on the spot. It feels like the tendons in his pulse have been brutally snapped in half. The agonizing pain almost makes him leap into the air, You glare at him with absolute ice in your eyes. And a dark, terrifying smirk spreads across your face. If you want to keep your family jewels intact, you should probably get the hell out of my sight right now. As you finish speaking, Wang Wu finally yanks his wrist free. Fine, you win this time, you crazy bastard. The chick is all yours today, but you better pray I don't catch you around here again. And with that, he scurries away without looking back. Su Yanran sits there, utterly dazed, taking a long moment to process what just happened. Her voice trembles as she whispers, Uncle Chin, kiddo, what are you doing out here in the middle of the night? And getting drunk like this? You frown as you look at her. Your tone carries a hint of reproach, mixed with a little helplessness. As for the situation right now, even Su Yanran herself finds it completely absurd. Logically speaking, she isn't usually the type to lose control like this. She has no idea what came over her today, but regardless of what she's thinking, you really don't care to find out right now, because the system's voice has just echoed in your mind once again. Congratulations, host, for stepping in first to rescue Su Yanran. Villain points increased by 500, recovered 100 destiny points. Reward, max level hidden weapon mastery. Now this is a sweet skill. With this, even if I end up going head to head with the protagonist someday, I won't be left completely in the dust. You then glance at your destiny points, which have shot up to 800. You can't help but sigh in satisfaction. Things are really starting to look up for me. Meanwhile, Su Yanran just keeps her head down. She wants to explain herself but can't seem to find the words. One look is all it takes to know something is weighing heavily on her mind. But you don't push her. You just wave your hand, offering to take her home. Hearing this, Su Yanran tries to stand up on her own. But she completely loses her balance and slumps right back into the chair. Seeing this, you let out an amused sigh. I'd better help you up. Growing up, Su Yanran had never been this physically close to a man before. But then she remembers that you're her elder. So surely, it shouldn't be a big deal, right? She hesitates. Well then, thank you, Uncle Chin. No need to be so polite with your uncle. Let's go. With that said, you don't hold back at all. You grab Su Yanran's arm, draping it over your shoulder, while your other arm wraps snugly around her slender waist. Ding! First close contact milestone with the female lead, Su Yanran, achieved. 300 villain points credited. Recovered 100 destiny points. Hearing that sweet, robotic chime, the corners of your lips curl up into a slight smirk. You're feeling pretty damn pleased with yourself. And honestly, Su Yanran's waist is just perfectly slim. Soft, yet firm. It feels absolutely amazing to hold. The two of you have barely stepped out of the bar and haven't even turned the corner yet. When you immediately furrow your brows, right there in front of you are over 20 young thugs. They're all clutching steel pipes, baseball bats, and similar weapons, forming a massive wall that completely blocks your path. Following right behind you are Li Jun and two other plainclothes bodyguards. The three of them instantly step up, shielding you in the middle of their formation. Boss Chin, you need to get out of here, right now. Don't worry about us, now, even though your bodyguards are pretty skilled fighters. They are heavily outnumbered, plus, every single one of those punks is armed to the teeth. Getting into a brawl would be way too risky. The smartest move is definitely to run first and figure things out later. You glance down at the woman leaning against you, and without a second thought, you just scoop Su Yanran right up into your arms. I mean, sure, my combat skills are completely maxed out right now. But getting my own hands dirty? That would just be way beneath me. Oh ho, look who brought his bodyguards along. Wang Wu sneers, eyeing Li Jun and his men up and down. He lets out a cold laugh. You guys sure know how to play dress up. Listen, pal, are you seriously looking for a fight? Li Jun asks, his expression ice cold. It's been a long time since he's run into street trash this blind to who they're messing with. Who the hell are you calling, pal? Wang Wu barks. He then raises his hand and waves it forward. Boys, get him, cripple all the men, but don't lay a finger on the girl. As soon as he finished speaking, the thugs let out a roar and charged forward, swinging their iron pipes. Li Jun and his two men reacted in a flash, flicking their expandable batons open with a sharp crack. One covered the rear, while another provided backup. Li Jun personally cleared the path, escorting you as you fell back. Seeing that you were about to break out while carrying her, the leader panicked. Peel off a few guys and take down that punk holding the chick. Don't let him get away. The thugs who were boxing in the two bodyguards instantly split their forces. They spun around and lunged straight for you. Li Jun's heart sank. These scumbags actually knew how to target the VIP. He fiercely lunged forward, forcing back an attacker. He tried to turn around and save you, but just as he kicked out, two more guys stepped in to block him. Left with no choice, he screamed at the top of his lungs, "Watch out!" But no one expected what happened next. With a heavy thud, the punk swinging the steel pipe was sent flying backward. Holy crap, what just happened? Before anyone could even process it, another loud crash echoed out. Another guy who rushed in was launched through the air, his form so perfect it looked like a stunt from an action movie. The entire place went dead silent. Lee Jun took the chance to glance over his shoulder. His brain completely short-circuited. He saw his supposedly frail boss, Mr. Chin, standing there holding the beautiful woman in his arms, casually pulling his leg back from a kick. It was glaringly obvious that Mr. Chin was the one who just sent those two guys flying. Being cornered by this mob had already pissed you off to no end. Su Yanran had completely passed out, her soft body hanging limply in your arms. It was incredibly awkward to move around like this. This was really getting out of hand. They were practically begging you to show no mercy. Just then, you spotted one of the original owner's mistresses standing off in the distance. Surprisingly, Tang Shui and a few other girls were right there next to her. Seeing them, you raised your voice and shouted, "Chu Xiaoman, stop spacing out. Get over here and help me watch her." Chu Xiaoman had been sulking lately because you had blocked her number. But since you gave her a breakup fee of 1 million, she was more than happy to do exactly as you asked. So, she quickly grabbed Tang Shui and rushed over. "Sorry about this, you'll have to lie here for a minute." Unable to wait for them to reach you, you quickly and gently laid Su Yanran flat on the ground. You rolled your shoulders, cracking your knuckles. Then, you charged straight into the mob. What followed was an endless symphony of agonizing screams. Chu Xiaoman and Tang Shui, who had just steadied Su Yanran, were completely awestruck. He looked so incredibly badass. Shock, admiration, and racing hearts, their emotions were a tangled mess. I mean, what girl wouldn't love a guy who is loaded and tough enough to protect her? Right now, you were the absolute total package. An armbar, a knee strike, an elbow smash, followed by a spinning kick. Your moves flowed together as flawlessly as if you had rehearsed them 100 times. There wasn't a single moment of hesitation. It was already past 11 o'clock at night, and the club was absolutely packed. The moment the crowd saw this action movie level brawl break out, everyone rushed outside to watch the show in pure fascination. Only Lin Feng stood quietly in the corner, his expression shifting rapidly. What the hell is going on? How is Qin Tian this good at fighting? He's a damn billionaire. He's not just a medical genius, he fights like his life depends on it. Why does he sound exactly like another version of me? Boss Feng, are we still making a move? Tong Hai was so anxious he was stomping his feet. It's complete chaos out there. If we don't show our faces now, and Boss Bao blames us later, who's gonna take the fall? Lin Feng let out a slow, heavy sigh. Alright, let's go. You guys go deal with it. I'm staying out of this. The second Lin Feng gave the green light, Tong Hai rallied a few of the boys and charged straight out. The chaos outside the club was already winding down. Seeing his men get knocked into the dirt one by one, Wang Wu didn't say a word. He just turned around and tried to make a run for it. Think you can just walk away? Your eyes turned icy cold. You casually scooped up a pebble from the ground and flicked it. The stone flew like it had eyes, smacking right into Wang Wu's ankle. Wang Wu lost his footing and crashed hard into the dirt. Old Li, go, drag him back here. Your voice was quiet, but it dripped with pure ice. Hearing the order, Old Li grabbed Wang Wu by the collar with one hand, hauling him roughly right back in front of you. He drove a vicious kick right into the back of his knee. Wang Wu, already dizzy from hitting the ground, crumpled from the blow and slammed hard onto his knees. Damn you, you dare lay a hand on me? I work for Boss Hu. Hearing that, you just planted a brutal kick right in his face. Boss Hu? What the hell is that? You let out a cold laugh. You go back and tell your Boss Hu to figure out exactly who I am. He has 3 days to come to my door and apologize in person. Otherwise, there won't be any need for your little gang to exist anymore. Of course, if you guys are too stupid to figure out who I am, and that makes things even easier. It means you don't even have the right to exist. Did I make myself perfectly clear? You spat out every single word through gritted teeth. You understood. I'll tell him. Wang Wu's mouth was completely full of blood. He was seething with rage on the inside. Make Boss Hu apologize? Who the hell do you think you are? But when you're caught dead to rights, you have to bow your head. He had no choice but to swallow his pride and play along for now. But like hell you were going to let him off that easy. To deliver a message, you only need your mouth. Old Li, break all his arms and legs. WH, what? Wang Wu snapped his head up, his eyes bulging so wide they almost ripped. Dealing with street trash like this, Old Li didn't hesitate for a single second. With a sickening crunch, Wang Wu let out a gut-wrenching scream that echoed down the entire street like a slaughtered pig. The second you finished making an example out of Wang Wu, the club's bouncers finally stumbled out in a panic. You couldn't even be bothered with those useless guards. You just turned your head to look at Li Jun and the other two. How are you guys holding up? You okay? We'll live, the two bodyguards replied, gritting their teeth through the pain. You noticed their clothes were completely covered in dirt and soaked with blood. You took a couple of stabs and you're calling that fine? You shook your head, then turned around. Old Lee, give them 100,000 each. Go to the hospital and get yourselves patched up properly. If that's not enough, come to me for more. Hearing that, Lee Jun was genuinely caught off guard. It felt like the boss was a totally different person. Whenever stuff like this happened before, wouldn't he just open his mouth to call them worthless? Since when did he care so much about his guys? But he didn't overthink it. After all, he liked this version of the boss a hell of a lot more. You ignored what was going through their heads and kept talking to Lee Jun. You take them to the hospital. I'll get Miss Sue home first. Lee Jun was about to protest that you couldn't go without a bodyguard, but after seeing the thugs groaning on the floor, he swallowed his words right back. He simply turned on his heel and headed to the parking lot to grab the car. He drove the 2 injured bodyguards straight to the while you hurried over to Su Yanran. Mr. Chen, she's burning up, it's terrifying. Chu Xiaomin blurted out in a panic the second she saw you. You frowned slightly. You reached out and felt her forehead. She really was burning up. Tang Shui's face was flushed as she stammered, I checked her pulse. She's been slipped a little something extra. It was glaringly obvious that the drink Wang Wu handed her earlier was completely tainted. Seeing this, you couldn't help but sneer inwardly. If you hadn't shown up tonight, Lin Feng would have definitely hit the jackpot. Playing the hero rescuing the beauty, stumbling right onto the spiked drink plot. The perfect setup to claim the ultimate prize was laid out plain as day. Shaking off those thoughts, you sped off with Su Yanran toward the hospital. Inside the Porsche, Su Yanran was in a complete daze. So hot, it's burning. She was suffocating from the heat. Her clothes naturally started slipping off her shoulders. Keeping one eye fixed on the road, you caught glimpses of the passenger seat in your peripheral vision. Honestly, the view right now would blow the mind of any normal guy like a ticking time bomb. Anyone else would have lost control by now. And for you, this was a free gift falling right into your lap. But the system had made it crystal clear. You could mess around with ordinary women all you wanted, but these female leads were a different breed. Their fates were tied directly to the main protagonist. You couldn't afford to have any dirty thoughts. Touching them required 2 strict conditions. Number 1. They had to be completely sober and conscious. Number 2. Absolutely no forcing it. Otherwise, all hell would break loose. Right now, having downed that spiked drink, Su Yanran was at her absolute most vulnerable. But what happens after? It's not like you were the golden boy of this world. You didn't have that magical protagonist aura that instantly makes a girl fall in love with you after one night. If Su Yanran woke up tomorrow morning and realized she'd been taken advantage of, the protagonist aura would just manipulate her into turning around and accusing you of assault. Then you'd be a textbook cannon fodder villain, the kind who gets stomped right into the dirt by the hero. Ground to dust with 0 chance of a comeback. Thinking of this, you let out a heavy sigh. Your tone was laced with regret. Man, what a massive shame. But I guess I'll play the perfect gentleman tonight. With that, you slammed your foot on the gas. You changed course, speeding straight toward your own private villa. The whole you have to sleep with them if they're drugged, or they'll die if you don't. That was all pure, utter bullshit. Real life wasn't that melodramatic. Sure, this kind of stuff made you feel miserable, but as long as you toughed it out, the effects would naturally wear off after a few hours. You'd just suffer a bit, that's all. Before long, you arrived at the Lishan villa. When you scooped Su Yanran's limp, jelly-like body out of the car, she clung to you like a lifeline, refusing to let go. Her lips kept desperately seeking yours, her arms wrapping tightly around your neck as she nuzzled you relentlessly. There was no dodging it. You had no choice but to brace yourself and carry her straight into the bathroom. You cranked the cold shower all the way up and tossed her right into the tub. As the freezing water crashed over her head, Su Yanran's entire body violently shivered. The shock finally brought some clarity back to her muddled brain. Right now, her memory was completely shattered in pieces. She could only vaguely remember running into those thugs and almost getting hurt. It was Uncle Chin who saved her. Suddenly, a flash of memory hit her, and Su Yanran jolted awake. She quickly looked around. The room was huge and brightly lit. It had this European-style decor, with a gold-trimmed and painted ceiling. It looked incredibly expensive, but she had never seen this place before in her life. She looked down at herself. She was wrapped in a thick bathrobe, tied up properly, completely covering her up. But this wasn't her home. Her heart sank. She quickly pulled open the bathrobe to check, and in the next second, she completely froze. Her underwear was gone, her legs gave out, and she collapsed onto the floor. But then, she realized something didn't add up. Even though she felt dizzy, her body didn't feel weird at all. There was absolutely no pain. She didn't have that morning after feeling that people talked about online. Filled with confusion, she quickly tied her belt back up and rushed out of the room. The entire villa was brightly lit, but there wasn't a single soul in sight. It wasn't until she reached the ground floor that a familiar figure finally appeared. You were wearing a bathrobe, sitting on the couch with your legs crossed, scrolling through your phone. Uncle Chin? Hearing the noise, you looked up. You're awake. Su Yanran's heart skipped a beat. Why am I here? Do you remember what happened earlier? You asked, putting down your phone. You pointed to the space next to you on the couch. After Su Yanran obediently sat down, she gave a small nod, but then quickly shook her head. She had a vague memory of how the night started, but after that, her mind was completely fogged up. She just couldn't remember. It felt like she had been clinging tightly to Qin Tian. The moment that thought crossed her mind, her face instantly flushed beet red. Did she actually do that with Qin Tian? At that thought, Su Yanran immediately stopped herself. She didn't dare to think about it any further. You saw right through her inner panic. You don't really remember what happened, do you? Don't panic, let me walk you through it. A guy named Wang Wu handed you a drink. Ring a bell? Su Yanran nodded. So you continued. He spiked that drink. I took you out of there and was planning to just take you home. But the drug kicked in way too fast. We wouldn't have made it. And if your family or a doctor found out about this, the rumors wouldn't be pretty. So I just brought you back to my place. Hearing your explanation, Su Yanran thought hard for a second. That did sound right. Yeah, that makes sense. But what about my clothes? To bring your temperature down from the drug, I had you soak in a cold bath. Your clothes got completely soaked, you continued in a calm voice. But I didn't want you catching a cold, so I had the maid dry your hair and body. And change you into a bathrobe, so my clothes were changed by the maid? Su Yanran suddenly latched onto that detail. You shrugged. What, did you think I stripped you myself? Hearing this, Su Yanran actually felt a bit awkward, because she vaguely remembered herself clinging to Qin Tian and kissing him wildly. Right now, she didn't even dare to look you in the eye. Seeing her total awkwardness, you just casually waved your hand. It's getting pretty late. If Uncle Qin doesn't mind, could I crash here for the night? After confirming that she was completely unharmed, Su Yanran finally breathed a huge sigh of relief, and her tone lightened up quite a bit. Hey, I don't really mind. It just depends on whether you're worried about people gossiping. You gave her a calm, fleeting glance. You realized you could suddenly see her status window. And shockingly, her affection level had already reached 62%. According to the system, as long as these female leads started catching feelings for you, the ultimate villain, you could check their detailed profiles. When an ordinary person's trust hit 90%, they would completely submit to your will. And once a female lead's affection broke past 90%, you could completely ignore the protagonist's plot armor. Lishan Villa had plenty of rooms, so you just casually picked one for her and added, the maid will bring your clothes over once they are washed and dried. And your incredibly thoughtful arrangement really got Su Yanran's imagination running wild. She slowly walked over to the bed. Looking down, she realized the quilt and sheets were completely brand new. They had clearly just been changed. He even thought of this. For the first time, she truly felt the gentle, protective touch of a mature man. Not only was this Uncle Qin incredibly handsome, he was also meticulous in every detail. He was practically born to make women fall for him. Just as she was thinking this, that memory suddenly flashed in her mind again. Your sharp, chiseled face, that solid, masculine physique, those strong arms, and that incredibly reassuring masculine scent. It all just kept looping over and over in her head. Could this be what having a crush feels like? Su Yanran fiercely shook her head. How could I possibly like him? No way, that's impossible. I'm only 4 years older than his son. But he is just so handsome, so gentle and totally reliable. Hugging him must feel so incredibly safe. But he's my elder, I can't be thinking like this. Well then, the angel and devil in her head were already screaming at each other. Amidst the mental shouting match, a heavy wave of exhaustion washed over her. Whether it was the lingering buzz from the alcohol, or just the overwhelming impression you left on her tonight. By the time she woke up the next morning, her bathrobe felt a little damp. Blushing, she quickly grabbed it and scurried into the bathroom. That morning, you stared blankly at the freshly washed bathrobe hanging outside. You literally had maids at home. What exactly was this girl up to? And why on earth did she just gift me 200 villain points first thing in the morning? Seriously, what did this girl even do? Unable to wrap your head around it, you just shook your head and walked away. Meanwhile, inside a private room at the Blue Shell Bar, Boss Hu rolled iron Baoding balls in his hand, his face pale and furious as he glared at the security footage. The moment he recognized the Su family's precious daughter on the screen, he wanted to shove that troublemaking lackey right back into his mother's womb. Now they had pissed off both the Qin and Su families at the exact same time. The massive bald guy was so frantic he kept rubbing his chunky gold necklace. Get the car ready, I'm going to their door to grovel and apologize myself. Back at the Su manor, the young heiress was busy rewatching that exact security clip of her hero swooping in to save the day. Seeing how disheveled you looked while protecting her, a sweet little smile broke out, revealing her cute dimples. Wow, so even big, scary CEOs rip their ties off when they get into a fight. Her fingertips unconsciously traced your side profile across the glowing screen. Suddenly realizing what she was doing, she panicked and tossed the tablet onto the couch, completely mortified. Su Yanren, have you lost your mind? But her burning red ears had already totally given her secret away. Mr. Chin, the police are here to see you. In the top floor office of Chin Corporation. Having just set up the surveillance on Lin Feng, you raise an eyebrow slightly. Let Attorney Deng handle it. You nonchalantly twirl your pen. Petty situation like this doesn't require your personal attention at all. The power of capital is on full display here. For the exact same brawl, the protagonist gets thrown in the slammer, while the villain walks away completely scot-free. Now that's the irony of reality. Hanging up the phone, you stare at the city diorama, lost in deep thought. Crushing that plot-armored cockroach requires a multi-pronged approach. You have to hijack his lucky encounters, conquer the female leads, and fortify your own power base. System. Where exactly is the line drawn for coercion? The fountain pen in your hand spins into a blur across your fingertips. As long as you don't resort to physical violence, you can use whatever ruthless business tactics you want. The mechanical voice gives an ambiguously permissive answer. Just as you're plotting your dirty tricks, a WeChat notification suddenly chimes. A profile picture belonging to Deng Yuqing is blinking. Mr. Chen, could I buy you a cup of coffee? This is the exact same woman who was hanging out with Tang Shui's group last night. Seeing this, a scheme instantly forms in your mind. She might not be a main heroine, but she'll make a pretty good pawn. 2 o'clock, Mingxi Cafe. Your brief reply sends the real estate reception desk on the other end into a frenzy. Deng Yuqing's fingers are trembling with excitement as she scrambles to book the most expensive cafe in the city. But just as she's fantasizing about marrying into wealth, a piercing ringtone shatters her sweet dreams. The caller ID showing Wang Hao makes her expression instantly drop. Are you ever gonna quit? She screeches sharply into the phone, a complete 180 from her sweet, coquettish tone earlier. From the other end of the line comes a weak, pleading voice. Yuqing, my mom was admitted to the hospital a couple of days ago. She needs a 30,000 yuan surgery fee. I've scraped and borrowed from everyone, but I only managed to get 10,000 together. Do you think you could help me cover the remaining 20,000? Do you think I own a damn bank? Before he can even finish his sentence, Deng Yuqing completely blows up. She suddenly realizes her colleagues are still standing nearby. Her face flushes red, and she snaps her head away, stomping to the end of the hallway. Wang Hao, are you out of your freaking mind? In the entire year we've been dating, how much money have you actually spent on me? Have you ever once fought to pay the dinner bill? Have you ever even bought a movie ticket? And now look at you. You just open your mouth and demand 20,000. I'm so sorry, Yuqing. I really have nowhere else to turn, that's why I'm asking you. After all, we're still together, right? Can't you just help me out for the sake of our relationship? The voice on the other end grows weaker and weaker, sounding completely deflated. Hearing this, Deng Yuqing lets out a cold, sarcastic laugh. Together? We've held hands a few times, and you call that being together? Yuqing, what do you mean by that? His tone instantly changes. What do I mean? Are you playing dumb? We are totally done. Did you hear me? On the other end, Wang Hao is completely stunned. Yuqing, is money really more important than me? Just to avoid lending me money, you're dumping me? Damn right, money is important. That's exactly why I decided to dump you. I'm terrified of you begging for money. Her anger flares up more with every word. I ran my legs off selling houses to earn this money. I sweated out in the sun and wind for every single penny. You expect me to just hand over cash? You barely survive off writing those stupid web novels. Making what? Barely $1,000 a month. How on earth are you going to pay me back? But my mom, she's really dying. There are no buts. Deng Yuqing took a deep breath, lowering her voice to a harsh, cold whisper. Wang Hao, we are done. I refuse to spend the rest of my life squeezing into crowded subways and eating cheap takeout. Stuck in some tiny, broken-down apartment without even a balcony. That is not the life I want. Dead silence hung on the other end of the line. After a long pause, Wang Hao finally spoke, his voice trembling. Yuqing, are you seriously dead set on breaking up with me? Honestly, Deng Yuqing had wanted to dump him ages ago. She just didn't want to crush his fragile ego, hoping that if she acted cold enough, he'd be the one to end it. But this guy was so buried in his typing all day, living in his own little fantasy world, that he didn't even notice her pulling away. Deng Yuqing closed her eyes. Let's break up, she spat out coldly. And with that, she hung up the phone. She let out a long, relieved sigh, a smirk naturally creeping onto her lips. Oh, right, she still had to meet Mr. Chin at the cafe this afternoon. Just thinking about it made her mood instantly brighten. Meanwhile, right outside the Central City Hospital, a young man sat slumped on the steps of the inpatient ward. He was gripping his phone so hard his knuckles turned white, with only one terrifying thought echoing in his mind. It's over. His mom was dying and desperately needed cash. He had begged every single relative he knew. Except for his absolute best bro who managed to scrape together 10,000 bucks for him, everyone else just played dead. He had long accepted that his blood relatives were utter garbage, but he never imagined his own girlfriend could be so incredibly heartless. You clearly have the money, but you'd rather let my mom die. Why? He roared under his breath, his voice shaking with raw fury. Deng Yuqing, you better remember this. The day I finally make it to the top, I swear, you are going to deeply regret what you did today. Suddenly, a heavy, crushing sensation hit his brain. Before he could even react, his vision went pitch black and he collapsed hard onto the concrete. An unknown amount of time passed before Wang Hao finally groggily opened his eyes. He found himself lying in a stark white hospital bed. His head was spinning, but as he turned his head, he realized something totally foreign was crammed inside his mind. It felt like a massive, towering bookshelf had been planted right inside his brain, packed tight with endless rows of novels. What the hell is going on? Wang Hao muttered, completely bewildered. In his mind's eye, he reached out, pulled the very first book off the shelf, and flipped to page 1. This is a world where battle aura rules supreme. There is no magic here, only battle aura cultivated to its absolute peak. That single, powerful opening line instantly hooked him. He kept reading, completely absorbed. 30 years on the East Bank, 30 years on the West. Never look down on a young man just because he's poor. The world building was so incredibly fresh, and the plot was just explosive. The more he read, the more intensely addicted he became. His blood was practically boiling with excitement. Now this is exactly what a novel should be. Man, the main character's struggle, it feels way too similar to mine. Meanwhile, Fatty Chen, the absolute legend of a best friend who had scraped together those 10,000 bucks, was rushing over with a basket of fruit. As he hurried past the Mingxi Cafe, a familiar silhouette suddenly caught his eye. Deng Yuqing? What the hell is she doing here? Fatty Chen froze in his tracks as a loud, sickening buzz went off in his head. He immediately pulled out his phone and called Wang Hao. Wang Hao, I just saw Deng Yuqing walk into Mingxi Cafe. A place like that charges at least a few $100 for a cup of coffee. And with her salary, where would she get that kind of cash? Wang Hao's mind started racing, and it instantly clicked, but then he remembered that they had just broken up. Fatty Chen froze for a second when he heard the news, then slowly chimed in. How? A breakup is a huge deal, man. You guys should clear the air face to face. Doing it over the phone is just messed up. Plus, looking at this, 10-1, she was already hooking up with someone else before she dumped you. Are you really just gonna swallow that? Then what the hell am I supposed to do? Wang Hao's voice suddenly spiked. Of course, it was tearing him up inside. Deng Yuqing was someone he had truly cared for. If he could just let her go that easily, he wouldn't be obsessing every single day about getting rich just to make her regret it. If you ask me, she really is messing around with some other guy, screw being a gentleman. You need to confront her. Even if it gets ugly, you have to demand answers face to face. Wang Hao hesitated, tracking her down just to argue in public? It felt too desperate, too pathetic. But then he remembered how cold and ruthless she was when she dumped him over the phone. He gritted his teeth. Fine, wait for me, I'm heading over right now. Meanwhile, at Mingxi Cafe, you pulled up to the entrance with Li Jun and 4 bodyguards. Deng Yuqing spotted you instantly and eagerly waved her hand. Mr. Chen, over here, you look stunning today, you said with a smirk as soon as you sat down. Deng Yuqing beamed from ear to ear, secretly thrilled that all her dressing up had paid off. You're too sweet, thank you, Mr. Chen. You brushed off the flattery and cut straight to the chase. I hate beating around the bush, so I'll just be blunt. We only met for the first time yesterday. We're definitely not close, and we certainly aren't friends either. So for you to ask me out under these circumstances, means you're either looking for a business deal, or you're looking for something more intimate. And given your background, you're obviously not here to talk business. So the answer is pretty obvious. Deng Yuqing's face burned bright red from your directness, and she stammered, unable to form a complete sentence. Whatever you want to say, just spit it out. I'm sitting here, aren't I? That means I'm open to the idea. Hearing this, Deng Yuqing finally gathered her courage and blurted out what she wanted. Mr. Chin, could you give me a chance? She knew that if she didn't speak up now, her golden ticket would slip right through her fingers. You let out a quiet laugh. At least you have the guts to admit what you want. That puts you way above those fake, timid gold diggers. You want to be with me? Not a problem, but I have 3 rules. Agree to them, and we can leave right now. Rule number 1, from this second on, you keep your distance from other men. I don't just mean dating. No, besties, no, guy friends. Absolutely none. Second, I won't marry you, and I definitely won't just stick to you alone. Third, from now on, I will be the one to contact you. You are not allowed to reach out to me first. My point is very simple. That's all there is to it. You got straight to the point, pouring out all your thoughts right then and there. Of course, since you're keeping me company on this journey, I won't let you do it for nothing. I won't be stingy when it comes to spending money. Food, clothes, expenses. Pick whatever you want. Even if we part ways someday, I'll toss you a lump sum, more than enough for you to live comfortably for a good while. If you don't believe me, you can go find your friend named Xiaomin and ask around. Xiaomin has already spoken to you about it, hasn't she? Deng Yuqing froze for a second, but then felt it was only natural. After all, who would willingly go around broadcasting this kind of thing? You have 2 minutes to think about it. After 2 minutes, I want a straight answer from you. Mr. Chin, will you look down on me? Deng Yuqing bit her lip, not giving a direct answer. She knew very well that what she was doing right now, in the eyes of others, was probably seen as cheap and shameful. However, your answer took her by surprise. No, I won't. We live to make ourselves happy. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. All that gossip out there is just coming from people who lack any self-awareness. You're different, you're beautiful, and you have a great figure. You have the assets to choose a better life for yourself. Why on earth would I look down on you? Deng Yuqing almost thought she had misheard. This was the first time someone had spoken about being a mistress so openly and naturally. As if it wasn't dirty or shameful in the slightest. Do you honestly think I need to make up some sweet lies just to make you happy? You shot her a sideways glance, your tone carrying a hint of sarcasm. Sweet-talking women is a job for men with too much time on their hands. You, Qin Tian, would never bother with such pointless games. About 20 minutes later, you stood up to settle the bill and get ready to leave. Just as you stepped out of the restaurant, Deng Yuqing quietly slipped her arm through yours. Because she really couldn't think of a single reason to refuse. Mr. Chen, where are we going next? Hearing this, the corner of your mouth curled into a smirk. First, we're going clothes shopping. The outfit you're wearing right now looks pretty nice. But since you're going to be standing by my side, just looking nice isn't going to cut it. Hearing those words, Deng Yuqing's heart skipped a few beats. Was this what it felt like to be with a rich man? With just one word, he'd swipe his card without hesitation. No wonder so many girls would rather be a mistress than struggle for a lifetime with a broke guy. Thinking back to when Wang Hao treated her to a bowl of hot and sour noodles and had to specifically choose a street stall under 10 yuan, Deng Yuqing felt a sudden pang of sadness. Suddenly, a loud shout snapped her back to reality. Right after, 2 dark figures came charging out from the corner of the street. Before they could even get close to you, the 2 men in black by your side immediately blocked their path. Deng Yuqing took a closer look. Wang Hao, what are you doing here? You're asking me what I'm doing here? Deng Yuqing, I was so blind about you. Wang Hao shot a vicious glare at you, his words dripping with venom. Beside him, Fatty Chen was staring at the sheer swagger you had as you stepped out of the luxury car, his eyes practically popping out of his head. You just broke up with me this morning, and by the afternoon, you're already hooking up with someone else. What a pure, innocent girl you are. Deng Yuqing was so furious she wanted to snap right back, but she suppressed her emotions, wanting to explain the situation to you first. However, before she could even open her mouth, you raised a hand and stopped her. I'll give you 5 minutes. After saying that, you didn't even spare them another glance. Escorted by your bodyguards, you got into the luxury car. Wang Hao and Fatty Chen hadn't expected this reaction from you at all. The 2 of them had originally come here to show off, wanting to expose Deng Yuqing's flaws right in front of you. They wanted to humiliate her, but it turned out you didn't even take the bait. You didn't even bat an eyelid. Wang Hao, why aren't you taking good care of your mom? What are you doing here, causing trouble? Seeing that you had already gotten into the car, Deng Yuqing quickly seized the chance to speak. Hearing this, Wang Hao's temper flared up instantly. Deng Yuqing, if you had met someone else after we broke up, I wouldn't have said a word. But what is this right now? We haven't even officially split, and you're already latching onto a new guy. You think that's something to be proud of, huh? You never used to be like this. Wang Hao's tone dropped, revealing a hint of disappointment. His voice softened a bit. You know these rich guys are never short of women around them. He might be treating you well right now, but who knows, one day he might just get bored and kick you to the curb. What are you even after? Even if I do get dumped, it's still way better than wasting my life away with you. Deng Yuqing finally couldn't hold back anymore and cut him off directly. Wang Hao, can you please stop lying to yourself? President Qin is handsome, wealthy, and capable. So what if I'm with him? Even if he doesn't want me in the future, that's my own choice. It's far better than spending a lifetime with you, where I can't even get a decent meal. You need 20 grand for your mom's medical bills, right? Fine, I'll transfer it to you right now. After she finished speaking, she pulled out her phone. With a swipe of her finger, the 20 grand was instantly sent to Wang Hao's account. Then, she flashed the successful transfer screen right in front of Wang Hao's eyes. This is your breakup fee. From me to you. She enunciated every single word, She pointed a finger from herself to Wang Hao. It wasn't every day you saw a woman throwing money at a man. From now on, we're even. We have nothing to do with each other anymore. That's it, we're done. With that, she turned without looking back and walked straight toward your luxury car. However, right at that moment, the system in your mind suddenly chimed. Successfully stole the protagonist's ex-girlfriend. The plot direction has begun to change. Earned 300 villain points. Villain points have met the criteria for a skill draw. Draw immediately? Not now. You had originally just wanted to use Deng Yuqing as a pawn to deal with the trouble on Tang Shui's end. You hadn't expected to effortlessly scoop up other benefits along the way. That Wang Hao was clearly Deng Yuqing's ex-boyfriend. But the system actually said that the capture of the protagonist's ex-girlfriend was a success. Which meant, Wang Hao was the actual protagonist of this story. And right now, the role you were playing was the script of the rich second-generation villain destined to be crushed by the protagonist. System, scan him for me. Seeing Deng Yuqing walking this way, you quickly locked onto Wang Hao out of the corner of your eye. Scan complete. Name, Wang Hao. Luck value, 72. The target's fortune is currently rising. The exact value cannot be accurately measured right now. When you saw that 72 points of luck, you almost thought your eyes were playing tricks on you. But the moment that small line of text popped up below it, you immediately realized what was going on. This guy most likely just bound to a protagonist system, and his destiny hasn't fully awakened yet. So he hasn't started his underdog comeback just yet. And the crazy part is, in this world, there's actually more than one main character. You let out a quiet scoff in your head. Even though you didn't score a lot of villain points this time around, at least you got some new clues out of it. I'm so sorry, Mr. Chin. I kept you waiting. You glanced at Wang Hao, who was still standing there frozen, and couldn't be bothered to deal with him anymore. You just told Li Jun to drive off. That guy standing over there just now, was he your boyfriend? Oh, come on, Mr. Chin. We've only grabbed food a couple of times and watched a movie together before. The most we did was hold hands. Listening to Deng Yuqing desperately trying to explain herself, you let out a soft chuckle. Don't panic, I was just asking out of curiosity. Even if you two really had a thing going on, I really wouldn't care. Let's go pick out some outfits for you first. Deng Yuqing nodded eagerly. An underdog protagonist like Wang Hao is way easier to deal with than those overpowered, all-knowing types. So you weren't in any rush at all. Xiaoman, have you talked things out with Mr. Chin yet? Taking advantage of the moment you closed your eyes to rest, Deng Yuqing secretly shot a text to her best friend. How do you know about that? Chu Xiaoman was totally caught off guard. Never mind how I know. I just want to know how much he gave you for the breakup fee. Alright, fine, but you absolutely cannot breathe a word of this to anyone. If you dare run your mouth, we are done being friends. I swear, I won't tell another soul. 1 million, aside from buying me a ton of stuff. He also tossed me a cool 1 million when we broke up. Seeing the words 1 million on her screen, Deng Yuqing was completely stunned. She never would have guessed that rich people could be this generous. With her current salary, she'd have to work for almost 10 years without spending a dime to save that much. Seeing this amount, her mind was finally put at ease. She chatted with Chu Xiaoman for a little bit longer, then quickly put her phone away. After all, she had to make sure her sugar daddy was well taken care of. By the way, how exactly did you meet Tang Shui? You suddenly spoke up from the backseat. Deng Yuqing quickly answered, her coworker and I are from the same hometown. We hung out a few times and just got to know each other. So what do you do for work right now? And what's your connection to Chu Xiaoman? I just run a little street stall over in the city to make some cash. Xiaoman and I were actually classmates in college. We've always been pretty close. Deng Yuqing spoke openly, without holding anything back. You gave a slight nod and didn't ask anything else. Because logically speaking, whenever a main character rises to power, the ex-girlfriend is bound to become a stepping stone. And that meant this little pawn, Deng Yuqing, wouldn't just be useful against Lin Feng. She might just be the perfect tool to drag this second protagonist.